Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. It is 2:54 p.m. What month is it? Shit, it's July, bro. Did we say July 1st yesterday? What the fuck happened yesterday? I don't even remember. July 2nd, 2023. I hope everyone's had a fantastic day today. We're gonna get into some FiveM roleplay once again. So, remember when I streamed yesterday? Yeah, I still haven't slept. Did I stream on the 1st of yesterday or on the 30th? What the fuck happened last night? I streamed 15 hours ago. What day was that? And my stream immediately crashed. Doesn't even tell me. Fuck me, I guess. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. I am very, very tired. I am very, very tired. And I would like to be sleeping. However, we have 2 cases today, and I had to start early because Steven's character, Richie Bianchi, is requesting a fucking bitch trial.
Welcome to my store.
Because he doesn't know how to take an L. So here we are, ready to fucking fuck around and find out. We're ready to fuck around and find out. Oh yeah, we love this lag. Let's take some money out. Jesus Christ, I am very tired. Okay. If you want my 10K, you can rob it off me. It's not a big deal. Great. There's fucking police around here. Yeah, I'm very tired, but we have a bunch of trials today, and we've been waiting a while. So we got one at 5 my time, so in about 2 hours, and we also have a bench trial now, technically. So, you know, and you've seen me do this a million times before, because this is where my spawn location is. Ooh. I almost just had a cramp in my jaw. Those are the bad ones. Oh, sorry, I'm muscle spasm in your, like, in your neck. And your, like, under your tongue. Like, those ones suck. So I just want to get a little bit of setup. I don't really know what's going on. It was a bench trial requested about 20 minutes ago. I was busy cleaning, so I couldn't respond. But yeah, what a night. I've been doing a lot of cleaning, a lot of organization, you know, cleaning up my closet. That sort of thing. I'd like to unrent a hotel room. Is that even possible? Oh, it might have got rolled back. No, it didn't. I mean, I don't even know how this shit works. Only 1,500 a week. I make that in 15 minutes, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. So basically, our day is just going to be court stuff. I don't know how much prep I'm going to get done. This might be my most vulnerable day. Because I'm tired. I'm not on my A game. I can't set up outfits anymore because it's broken. I have my Sanchez, which is great. But like, it's my only exit. But I don't really have a lot of time to set up a bunch of shit. Ugh. The thing is about these days is like these are the days that shit actually goes down, and like I don't have shit set up because I'm just too tired to do it. I can't believe the station has stood the test of time. That shit should have been deleted ages ago. Red. Okay, that's where we're gonna grab our vehicles. Alright, we'll jog over, we'll grab our vehicle, we'll go to a thing, and we'll grab that. Alright, we're gonna grab, we're just gonna grab regular Tahoe. Okay. That's what I get for buying my engine to G. I wonder how much that house is over there. want to check out that house. See how much it is. My walk style's wrong as well. We'll fix that in a sec. I want to change my outfit first. They really gotta make these things visible because no one would know it's here. Like, not a single soul's gonna know it's here. Like, I had to fucking look for it myself. Alright. Raka Hoop. Yeah, I don't even know what house this is. I'm imagining it's gonna be quite expensive by the looks of it. I'm not gonna drive in. I don't want to scrape my shit. Should be like 750, I think. Which I don't know why, if it is that, like, I don't know why it'd be so highly priced. Jesus. I mean, yeah. Like, here's the thing, like, who can afford this, right? Like, you could always say, it's like, well, Jeremy, you know, you don't need to buy it, right? You don't need to have this fancy house or whatever. But, like, that's kind of the spice of the server a little bit, you know? Like, you don't need to fuck us with prices just because it looks nice. At the end of the day, it's just a house. Because, like, I am specifically not engaging with the system because of how much it is. I'm gonna murder Star here in a second. She's gonna die 1,000 deaths. Alright. Fucking Christ. Oh, they're already here. Oh no. Which moron left that unlocked? Come on. Hello?
Hello?
Do you not know how to lock some doors, sir? Both of these doors were unlocked.
That's how I got into the,
You trying to get killed?
everywhere.
Who left it unlocked? That must have been Jardine.
Oh,
Yell at
yes. Okay. Fucking Christ. Hello. Hello, good day.
Just so you're aware, this whole case is amazingly stupid, and it's so he can sue the police. So,
Okay.
you ready to bring out your big boy fines?
Nope.
My
No,
apologies.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, they got rid of those. Never mind. Forgot they lowered them.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Verdin. How are you?
Oh, is this Jardine? You changed your hair color. Wasn't it white?
It was gray.
Basically same shit. Can we get this started, please?
Yes, I can. The suspect is just down in the cells down there. He's choosing to represent himself.
Right?
I do believe he might actually be a part of the DOJ, though, if I'm not wrong.
That is incorrect.
Oh, he's not?
Nope.
Alright, I thought he was.
Not him.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab him.
Make sure you lock the doors if you forgot to lock them. gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Clear RP duplication glitch where we duplicate $15,000 7,000 times. It's completely unfounded. No one knows how. It's completely undetected. So, you know, keep it in mind, ladies and gentlemen. You're seeing the neat hacks today. The neat hacks. Here we go. Sam's gonna be so annoyed with me. Alright, and...
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
Would you like Mr. Bianchi removed from cuffs, or?
Is he an active threat?
No, he's been very cooperative and willing.
Remove
He's
him
just
from
trying to get
cuffs.
money. Alright.
You see everyone's coming in with preconceived notions. Oh.
Bianchi, go ahead and face the desk for me so I can take these cuffs off you, and then you'll take a seat.
Alright.
Would you like a megaphone, Mr. Verdin, or you think you're good?
People in the gallery, can you hear me alright? If you can stand up and raise your hands. If not, I'll get the megaphone out.
I can hear you just fine.
Awesome. Okay, so, Mr. Bianchi, since you requested this, bench trial, why are we here? Please stand and approach the bench.
Sure, I'm just gonna eat some food. I haven't eaten in like an hour.
That's
I'm
fine.
in cuffs.
Please take your time.
Hello. I feel that the arrest was unjust and unwarranted.
Okay. On what
I feel like
grounds?
I did nothing wrong. On the grounds of I believe I wasn't sure what I was being charged with. He told me sale. I don't think the sale of drugs is illegal.
Okay.
Specifically cocaine. So I was told I was being charged with the sale of cocaine, and that isn't illegal, Your Honor.
Okay. You can go and sit back down.
Thank you.
Mr. Nyman, you can approach. What are we pressing today?
This time, Your Honor, we're seeking... One moment. Sorry about that. My tab's closed. We're going to be seeking 3-1201, possession of a CDS, which obtains or possesses actually constructively a CDS or dangerous drug, possesses a CDS or dangerous drug for sale, possesses equipment, chemicals, or both for the purpose of manufacturing CDS or dangerous drug, manufactures a CDS or dangerous drug, administers a CDS or a dangerous drug to another person, and transports CDS or dangerous drug by person, vehicle, or other means of transportation. It's a class 5 felony.
That
Class 6
sale
felony.
one you just said. What number is that?
That's in 3-1201, possession. It's the second sentence there.
Affirm. So, Mr. Bianchi, you were saying that this law, 3-1201, possession of a controlled dangerous substance, which specifically states possession of a CDS or dangerous drug for sale, is
Yes.
non-existent against cocaine.
There's no mention of the sale of cocaine. There's no mention of the sale being illegal. There's no mention of the sale.
Mr. Bianchi, can you go sit back to your chair? Jardine, can you step to the stand, please, at the front? Can you define a CDS, please, with your experience in the BCSO?
CDS is a controlled dangerous substance. So that would be any drugs, cocaine, methamphetamine, anything that's not marijuana, basically, on the drug front.
Okay, you can step back, please. Mr. Nyman, what is your understanding of a CDS?
Your Honor, based on precedent established in this court and general understanding of the populace, we refer to a CDS as a Schedule II narcotic recognized by the Food and Drug Administration. as well as the Controlled Center for Dangerous. Sorry, I forget the CDC, as well as the Drug Enforcement Administration,
Okay, you can
which
sit back
includes cocaine,
Oh, sorry.
opium, heroin, etc.
down. Okay, you can sit back down. Mr. Bianchi, if you could stand and tell me what your understanding of CDS means.
Sure. My understanding of CDS is the drugs that they just said.
Okay. Do you understand that completely contradicts your point here?
Yeah, but I also wasn't in possession of any drugs.
You weren't in possession of any drugs.
Oh,
Okay. Sit back down, please. Mr. Nyman,
Okay.
what information are we working with here?
So, Mr. Bianchi's claim is on the fact that his drugs were located in a van.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, he would advertise selling narcotics on Twitter, or sorry, Birdie. Individuals would arrive, pay him the money, and then he would instruct them to collect it from the van. He's attempting to claim he did not have actual possession, when it is true he did not have actual possession, but according to State v. Harris 2017, constructive possession can be established as he was knowledgeable that it was present and it was contraband, as well as he had conscious and knowing methods to exercise domain and control over it, which would be his firearm and his presence in the area.
Do we have any information to support that fact? Any evidence specifically?
We have screenshots, Twitter posts advertising it, officer testimony firsthand about Mr. Bianchi bringing the officers to the van, Mr. Bianchi conducting a sale of narcotics in the presence of the officers, his possession of firearms that were located on him, firsthand testimony of him offering to sell it to officers. Mr. Bianchi was in full knowledge that it was in the van, and he had full control over that van, be it through his presence and through his possession of a firearm, and held constructive possession over the CDS, even though it wasn't directly in his pocket.
Okay. So which officers, deputies, or troopers were involved with the getting first-hand accounts that he was doing this?
It's going to be a Deputy Jardine, and I apologize, I don't know the name of the probie. Jardine?
Yeah, it's going to be probationary deputy Drake.
All right, and do you have a signed affidavit, or are you looking for testimony to confirm your statement here?
I'm willing to have them provide testimony immediately.
Okay. All right, you can go back to your desk. So, Mr. Bianchi, I am concerned off the bat about this.
Yeah.
So, if what they say is true, and you were advertising it over Twitter, how do you figure that you're going to, like, how are you going to prove that this is, you know, like the state just overstepping or the state doing the wrong thing? Because to my understanding of the laws myself, like, if you're selling cocaine, it's illegal.
Yeah.
And if you're selling it from your truck and you're only grabbing it into bags, I would also interpret that as illegal unless you can phrase it in some other way that makes it not. I mean, that's up to you.
So, do you want me to speak?
Yes, please, come up to this.
Yeah. So, I'll just tell you the little story of what happened. So, I got to Legion Square, saw a van parked there.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
At this time, given this is testimony, I'd like to ask that Mr. Bianchi be sworn in.
I would like to stand up first. There we go. Thank you.
Would you be willing to submit this testimony under oath, sir?
Sure.
Jardine, please swear in Mr. Bianchi. If you don't know the words, just, you know,
You can wing it.
do your thing.
Just give me 1 second here. All right. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
There we go.
Awesome.
All right. So, Your Honor, I got to Legion Square. I saw a vehicle, and I don't know, some what looked to be like dust all over the trunk. I called this in. I spoke to an officer over the phone. It was one, I believe they said their name was later, Hit Jones, due to a different scene where they came. I told them it was there, and they said, we do not have time to deal with this. Something more fun is happening. So I said, okay.
Stand by. Is that verbatim what they said, or is that a paraphrase?
Give or take. They verbatim portion of what they said was, we do not have time for this.
Motion to strike that it's ineligible as it's presumption.
Okay, verbatim, a portion of what they said was, we don't have time for this.
All right, I'll strike the first thing. The second thing stays.
Yeah. So anyway, then they didn't want to handle me telling them that it was there, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna tell people they can pay me $50 for whatever they want to grab out of this car.
So, how do you figure that you're owed money to this?
I don't think I'm owed any money. I just don't think I should be arrested. I reported what was happening. There's shit all over the car.
So you were, to clarify, you were
Yeah.
selling something out of someone else's car that wasn't yours, correct?
Yeah, kind of. You could say it was,
What do you
a
mean,
little
kind
scummy.
of?
No, I was saying you could say it's a little scummy. I would say definitely a scumbag maneuver. But I thought, I
Did
I
you
initially
unlock
tried
the
to do
car?
the right thing. Unlock it? I never looked into the car myself. I never opened up.
So
any
what did you
doors.
say you were selling exactly?
Oh, I said it was cocaine. I wasn't sure what it was.
You said it was cocaine. You were selling
Yeah.
cocaine.
Yeah, I said I was selling cocaine.
You understand that that is not a great argument in your defense.
Your Honor, I had no way of knowing it was, in fact, cocaine. I never opened the car. I just saw a bunch of white powder on the ground in the car. It's not like in any vessel or container, to be honest. Some people came up, they're like, oh, where is he? I was like, oh, $50 a pop. It's right there. They didn't have to pay me or anything. Some people actually just walked in and got it first.
Mhm.
People were just, going into the car and taking it. So I was like, I can make some money off this.
You can
But it's
continue
kinda
with
like-
your story.
Yeah, so then, I don't know, I spent about an hour doing this. I kept calling the police, telling them, like, this thing's in the car. There's shit in the car, I don't know what it is. Blah, blah, blah. Then that guy came up and said, you're under arrest. And I said, what
Objection,
for?
Your Honor. Misrepresentation. That's not what happened there.
Yeah, please keep it to what you know for a fact and keep it to the truth of what happened on
Which
scene.
part wasn't the truth? I'm confused.
He's objecting to you saying, and mind you, I can't confirm this to myself, but he's objecting to the fact that what you said, Jardine said.
Oh, okay. Jardine did not say that I was under arrest. Yeah, I don't.
Your Honor, the defendant is quite literally admitting to perjury right now.
Admitting to.
You just stated he did tell you you're under arrest. Now he's saying that he did not.
Yeah, but the judge said he didn't say it. That's how I remember it. I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, Mr. Nyman, what evidence do we have of what exactly Jardine said verbatim? Like, do we have body cam verbatim, or...
We have first-hand testimony verbatim of the events, as well as from two different individuals who are able to verify that it did not involve Jardine just approaching Mr. Bianchi and saying you are under arrest, when there was a investigative process that occurred even before.
Okay.
I'm
I will caution you, Mr. Bianchi, to say exactly what happened and not to contradict yourself. It's a fine line.
okay. I will attempt to not contradict myself. So I was at Legion Square. and then something happened. Unsure what, because apparently my memory is wrong of what happened. I don't know. I think he spoke to me. I I believe he said words, and then I think that he placed me in handcuffs, and then I believe he took me out of handcuffs, and then I believe possibly that he asked me where the cocaine was, and then I said
Mr. Bianchi, are you
yes.
speculating or are you saying this for a fact?
I don't know.
Nothing,
Apparently,
nothing that Nyman has objected to stops you from saying what your testimony is. Just say it how you remember it. If he objects,
I was trying.
then he
To.
objects.
I mean, I don't know.
You are saying specifically
I
that
just said I
you
did
think.
perjury. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah. So don't lie. Don't
I wasn't
contradict yourself.
trying to. I wasn't trying to lie.
I understand. Just say what happened, please.
I can speak freely.
You can make sure you're telling the truth and not to contradict yourself.
I will attempt my best to tell the truth as I remember it. Yeah, at Legion Square, he comes up to me, asked me. I can't remember exactly. I guess what he said. I was placed into handcuffs. I was then placed out of handcuffs. Then, sorry, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. I believe he asked me, or I believe he then searched me. I'm not sure. And then he said, "Oh, he doesn't have any cocaine on him." I said, "Yeah, I don't have any cocaine on me." And then he said, "I believe." Then I said, "It's in the car, right
Your Honor,
there."
motion to strike speculative. He's saying, I believe. This is entirely speculation at this point. If
Are
he's
you
not
s-
sure what he's saying, then he should not be testifying.
Are you speaking in first person or are you speaking on someone else's behalf, Mr. Bianchi?
I'm confused. What does that mean?
So you said you believe, correct?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, I believe.
Okay.
I apologize for the nomenclature
Please-
used.
Please refrain. This is your last warning. Please
Yes.
refrain from saying "I believe." Just say "you know." I want to.
Okay.
I want to hear stuff that you know for a fact. If you don't know for
Correct.
a fact, don't say it.
All right. I know for a fact that I was placed in the handcuffs, searched. He said nothing was found. Then I know for a fact that I was removed from those handcuffs. I know for a fact I told him, I told him where it was, and then I know for a fact he looked into the vehicle, and then I know for a fact that I was placed into handcuffs again.
Okay.
That is what I know for a fact. That those things happened.
And explain to me how you being placed in cuffs is relevant to your argument.
Oh, I just don't think what I was doing was illegal.
Okay. So you don't think that selling something out of someone else's car for a profit that out of a vehicle that you don't own, that could be something illegal isn't illegal. You think that's a completely above the board normal behavior, correct?
I just don't think I was in possession.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Nyman.
I'd like to indicate in his previous testimony, he stated that Deputy Jardine asked where it was, that Bianchi stated the cocaine was in the van, despite him previously claiming not to know what was in the van. It sounds very definitive, if you ask me, about what was in the van.
I wasn't sure what it was. I just assumed it
To
was.
my memory, Mr. Nyman, I believe he was speculating on if it was in the van, as he stated, to my memory, that it was white powder, and he wasn't sure.
It's just it wasn't labeled. There was no label on it. It wasn't like in a bag or anything. I mean, it was just kind of there.
Okay.
And I know the city, really get a kick out of the word cocaine.
Do you have anything else to state?
I disagree with myself being in possession. I don't think I think my weapon was used. I don't think I ever brandished a weapon or anything. Someone mentioned a gun. I didn't brandish a weapon ever.
Yeah, I probably should have started with this. You can go back to your
Okay.
desk. Mr. Nyman, what are you charging this individual with?
At this time, Your Honor, we're charging him with 3-1201, possession of CDS, 3-1203, possession of CDS cocaine, and 3-1208, possession of a CDS with possession of a firearm. I'd like to just mention that possession of a CDS with possession of a firearm merely mentions that a firearm is in possession, does not require the firearm be used, brandished, or shown in any way, shape, or form.
Yes. I am aware of this. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Stand by, Mr. Bianchi. I would also like it noted that anytime that Jardine is referred to, that he be referred to in his correct rank, which is Sergeant. Just let the records show that. Now, Mr. Bianchi, you can go ahead and state your statement or whatever you were just about to say.
Yeah.
Keep it relevant.
I wasn't arguing with my possession of the gun. I was arguing over. They said something about the gun indicating possession, if I believe, in the courtroom. I'm not sure exactly if they could elaborate on that, but in some way they said the gun led to the possession or was included in the possession. I don't understand that.
Your Honor,
Okay.
the argument was the gun provided means for dominion over the possession. Mr. Bianchi was fully aware and fully capable of protecting the cocaine and holding possession over it. In fact, it is very likely it was inferred the cocaine was his own, as it was demonstrated by the individuals paying him for it and the officers believing it be within his possession.
All right, I want to hear some testimonials on this. I just want to get a full rundown on the scene. As a reminder, and this is probably different for bench trials, but I don't particularly want to deliberate and have this case done today, as there's a lot of facets going on. I'd like some time to actually think about it. That's longer than an hour or 30 minutes. So I'm just going to indicate that.
Your Honor, if I may, I'd just like to present some facts for you.
Yes, keep it short though.
I'd just like to have it indicated somewhere the following cases: State v. Harris, 2017, and State v. Hicks. Both constructive possession cases, very similar.
Do you have those? Because I haven't seen
I
those in
do.
a long time. All right, if you can go back to your desk and send those up, and then if you can call your first witness, testimonial, whatever you want to call it.
All right, I've just sent that, Your Honor. I'd like to primarily indicate the bottom of page number 5.
All right, Mr. Bianchi, would you like to see this as well?
I mean, sure. I'm just confused. I thought I was being charged with selling drugs.
He just
Also,
stated
I'd like
what
to
you're
request
being
a
charged.
recess of approximately 1 minute 30 seconds.
Right now?
Yeah, I just need to grab Uber.
Granted. Sit tight, Mr. Bianchi.
Yeah.
You can
Your
go
Honor,
ahead and
can I
read
ask
the
a
document.
question?
Yes, go ahead.
So, am sorry, in the cell, Sergeant said that I was being charged with selling cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Has that changed? I'm confused now.
Did you not hear what the district attorney just said?
I heard what he said, but
That's what the
So
state is charging you with.
am I no longer
charging you
being
with.
charged with selling drugs?
I don't know what was said in the cells. I just know what the district attorney just said. So you want to ask the officer or deputy under oath when he's under oath about that, you can. It'd be perfect time. Alright, sit tight while I read this. What the fuck is this? Is this like an actual case? I thought this was in-game shit.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Bianchi.
is there any specific part of this 15-page document I should read?
I forgot what the district attorney specifically indicated, so I'm not
Bottom of
entirely
page
sure.
5.
Bottom of page 5. State of Minnesota Courts of Appeals. Is this even case law?
All right, I'm ready now, Your Honor.
Hey, firm, just sit tight for a second. Is this document sent for the city of Minnesota, or is this a federal?
This will be the state of Minnesota, Your Honor. Their Court of Appeals.
This is the Court of Appeals, and is this federal case law, or is this just for Minnesota?
I do not believe there's any court mismatch, so unless there's another ruling that opposes this, I believe this would be applicable here, as it does use the same standard of constructive possession that is recognized by the federal courts. I apologize. I don't have the specific federal case law that established constructive possession, but I believe this would be the best reference point.
So while you're probably right in saying this is a good reference point and this could be very useful to the the Department of Justice, I personally do not agree with recognizing this, as this is not one of the specific federal case law that I have understood that we use in the city. So I'm gonna read it verbatim to myself, that is, not to everybody, and I'll make my decision. In his counsel brief, Hicks.
Your
Stand
Honor, I
by.
believe I actually do have. Sorry, I do have federal that it would be useful for you.
You can send me that. Federal's what I'm looking for.
That one's also long. Is there a part I should read?
Yeah, I'm failing to see the specific.
It's less so the specifics, more so the matter of the denial of the appeal. It's clearly indicated there that constructive possession was found, despite the weapon not actually being in the individual's possession.
Where was
The
in
weapon.
this?
The
I'm
weapon
not
doesn't
reading
apply to
on a
this
lawn.
case. Well, the weapon is a factor here. Specifically, you're referring to the charge of possession of CDS with a weapon, correct? So what you're saying this is stating is that...
No, sorry. I'm referring to the concept of constructive possession in this matter. That case holds that the possession of the firearm, regardless, is present. Mr. Bianchi is not denying that at all. He did have possession of the firearm. This is holding that the possession of the cocaine, despite it being not on his person and being less so secure, this still holds constructive possession, as ruled in the similar case.
Your Honor, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
If I see white powder on the ground, and then the police see me near the white powder, is that an arrestable offense?
District Attorney, is that an arrestable offense?
Sorry, merely seeing cocaine or seeing a white powder is not. But this is not. This matter is not. I saw a drug. That was it. This matter is Mr. Bianchi seeing the white powder and then proceeding to proclaim it is a white powder and proclaim on Twitter, "Come on down to Bianchi's coke shop, buy some cocaine," and then stating to an officer, "Here's the cocaine," and then charging people for said cocaine. Mr. Bianchi was fully aware that was actually cocaine.
Mr. Bianchi,
Yes.
what is your experience with cocaine?
My experience with cocaine?
Yeah.
Not
Would
much.
you be able to tell if it's cocaine by sight alone?
I don't think anybody could.
Did you run a drug analysis on
I
the
don't know
cocaine?
how to do that, sir.
did you use the cocaine to find out that it gives you a high?
I say that again?
Did you use the cocaine to see if it had any effects? Positive or negative?
No.
Okay.
I don't even think that the cocaine. I don't even know if anyone could have. In fact, one of the
Mr.
guys
Nyman,
who
Excuse
went
me, Your
into
Honor. I'd like to just present to you written posts on Birdie, if I may.
in a moment.
Yep.
Mr. Nyman, I am concerned that the foundation of this case is relying on Mr. Bianchi knowing exactly what a white powder is without specifically knowing what it is. As to my knowledge, like, was the vehicle unlocked? Was there any witness of him handling it? Was the drugs tested by police to find out it was cocaine?
It was tested and confirmed to be cocaine. Your
Who
Honor.
tested it? Where's the drug test to?
Sergeant Jardine was the one who tested the cocaine.
Awesome. Go ahead with your exhibits, I guess you can call them.
So, one moment. Let me pull these up here. I'd like to present the following posts on Birdie, posted by Richie B's Twitter account. And I quote word for word. Want to purchase cocaine? Want to get a nice high? Richie's Cocaine Emporium opening in Legion Square in 20 minutes. Next post. Flash sale. Richie's Cocaine Emporium. $50 a gram. Across from Legion Square Bank. Come one, come all. Next post. First sale at Richie's Cocaine Emporium. Next post. 2 sales already. Selling like hotcakes. Pick up your cocaine today. Next post. Need to get through a long shift? How about cocaine? Next post is how's that? Now that's a happy customer. There's a retweet of a previous post. After that, cocaine for sale at Legion Square across from the bank. And then he retweets a post from Desmond Jenkins saying, selling coke at Legion.
At any point during this scene, did police ever see Mr. Bianchi handle and hand over the perceived drugs?
Sure, one moment. While it was not directly seen him touching it with his own hands, there is the full knowledge that that was in fact cocaine, and I would like to provide that Mr. Bianchi's claims that he just found the van didn't and I remind you, his under oath testimony was stated that he never looked in the trunk. The powder, his claim that the powder he saw was cocaine, which just so happened to be cocaine, has never been verified. That he just stumbled upon it. That is a unverified claim that he has made to try to shift the blame. His assumptions just by looking, allegedly, solely by looking through the back window, that it was perfectly cocaine, which is reiterated consistently through his posts and through his charging, is suspicious to say the least. But in truth, it's damn well guilt that he knew this was cocaine.
So, what articulable facts do you have to state to say that he is lying or bending the truth, as you have the burden of proof here?
We have evidence of him directly stating it was cocaine. We have evidence of him making sales with individuals, offering to sell it to officers. I'm sure we can have the officers come up here and state their own. I would like to, actually, if it's possible, to call Sergeant Jardine up the stand, because I will have him testify, and I'm sure he can verify the fact that that powder was not so easily viewable as Mr. Bianchi claims.
Okay. We can move to do that. Jardine.
Honor?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Bianchi.
I never said that I opened. I never opened the trunk. That's what I said. I said I never opened the trunk.
Yeah.
I said that I never looked into it. I use my eyes all the time, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I was saying that that is what his claims are. And he is just so claiming that without opening the trunk at all, he was able to see the cocaine.
Okay. Jardine, to my left, please. And you can take a seat. Bailiff, if you know the words in sermon, if not, I can.
Sergeant Jardine, will you raise your right hand, please? You swear
That's
that you
about
tell the
raises.
truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear.
Alright, thank you.
Your Honor, you rather I go through the whole steps of foundation or just proceed as...
Let's go through the steps.
Sure thing. Sergeant Jardine, when
Yes, sir.
was your first encounter with Richie Bianchi today?
My first encounter with Richie Bianchi, sorry if I butchered your
Bianchi.
name. He made a 911 call to let us know about the that drugs were being sold at the Legion Square, and that we need to get over there. But because they're trying to sell it to us, I mean, but unfortunately we were extremely busy and extremely understaffed that we just didn't have time with a call that could have possibly have just been someone making a false 911 call to draw our attention. That would have been our first contact with them. Or my first contact, anyway.
Okay. And when was your first in-person contact with him?
My first in-person contact would have been pulled up at Legion Square outside of the bank. He was standing on the side of the road, dancing, waving around these light-up sticks.
Okay. And when was the first time you actually made contact with Mr. Bianchi?
When I stepped out of my vehicle after I pulled up, and well, actually, I didn't even step out of my vehicle yet. He ran up to my vehicle and said, "Have you changed your mind about buying Coke?"
Okay. And what happened from there?
At that point, I stepped out of the vehicle and I asked him if he was selling Coke. He informed me he was. I said, "Well, at this time, I'm going to be placing you in cuffs and detaining you." And I placed him in cuffs and detained him.
Okay. And what happened after that? Just
Hang
go
on.
through the full situation.
Hang on
All right,
one. Wait one. Just give me
Okay.
a second. Jardine, he said, and this is what you said. He said that he's selling coke, and then you put him in cuffs. Correct?
No, I said that he ran up to my vehicle and asked if I had changed my mind about buying Coke.
Yep.
And I then stepped out of my vehicle and asked him, "Are you selling Coke?" And he reported me, yes. At that point, I detained him.
Okay. And during that time, did he give you anything? Or did he just say it?
At that time, he was just saying that he was selling Coke.
So, was he detained or was he under arrest?
He
at
was
that time?
detained.
Okay.
He was detained for investigation.
Please continue, Mr. Nyman.
At that time, I gave him a quick frisk over his clothes, and I felt a weapon. So I took said weapon off of his person to secure it. And I did not feel any drugs on him at that time. So I kind of was chopping it up to he was just, trying to be a troll and waste our time. So I removed him from cuffs and proceeded to start back towards my vehicle. And at which point he piped up and said, "Well, why would I keep the drugs on me? They're in the van."
Okay.
Okay.
Can you can you restate this question for the record, Mr. Nyman?
I was just asking him to continue with what his first physical interaction with.
All right. Can you
Mr. Bianchi was today.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
Okay. I'd like to alter that then to, can you describe the events leading up to Mr. Bianchi's arrest?
Yes. So at that time, he said, "Why would I keep the drugs on me? They're in the van." To which I responded, "That van right there." And there was a van parked next to my patrol vehicle that I parked next to.
Excuse me.
And,
Do you know the model of the van?
I don't. It was kind of like a. I don't. It was kind of like a panel van type deal, like with some windows around it.
Okay.
It
Please
was blue
continue.
in color.
I have a question. Was the plate ran and did it come back to Mr. Bianchi?
No, unfortunately, we did not run the plate because of.
You
some
did not run the
others.
plate.
No, because of some other circumstances. But I did ask Mr. Bianchi if he owned said van, to which he responded with no. And looking at his profile, he does not own a van.
What were the circumstances that to where you couldn't do your due diligence and run the plate?
We had some civilians approaching the scene. One civilian even was able to grab some of these substances out of the vehicle, and more people were showing up. And I felt because we were so understaffed and I was alone with a phase 1 probationary officer that we just needed to pick up and get out of the area.
How many units did you have on?
It was myself, my probationary deputy, and then 2 other units who were trying to chase the person that grabbed some drugs from the vehicle and took off running.
Okay. Fair enough. Nyman, continue.
Okay. And so once you approached the van, what did you observe from the outside of the van only?
Well, I didn't really take the chance to look from the outside of the van because Mr. Bianchi said, "Look in the trunk of the van. Here, I'll look with you." And he proceeded to open the trunk of the van.
He proceeded to open a trunk?
Yes, he opened the trunk and looked in the trunk. So then I also looked in the trunk also, seen the substances. And like I said, at that time, another person ran up and started grabbing substances. So I grabbed as much as I could before that man ran
Hold
off.
on. I need to back you up. What was your verbiage when you said before Mr. Bianchi opened a trunk? What was your verbiage on that?
So when he said like it was in the, why would I keep the drugs on me? They're in the trunk, right?
Yep.
I said, "Oh, they're in that van right there." And he said, "Yeah, let's look in the trunk. I'll look in the trunk also."
Okay, sorry.
And he
Continue.
opened the trunk. So he opened the trunk. I opened the trunk, seen the drugs, or the white substance, I'll say. At that time, it was just white substance. At that time, another man ran up who I have speculations of who it is, but was unable to confirm because he did unfortunately get away.
Yep, refrain from speculating, but continue.
He grabbed some of the white powder from the back of the van. So I proceeded to grab as much as I could before he grabbed it all. He then took off running, and I sent the other officers that were on their way to me to go chase him. And I then placed Mr. Bianchi back into cuffs and informed him that he would be going to the state HQ for processing.
Based on Mr. Bianchi's mannerisms, way of speaking, and how he was interacting, did it appear like the items in that trunk were in some way his?
He was very blatantly like, "I am selling this coke." I will say he never once said, "I'm selling my coke," but he was saying like, "I'm selling this coke. The coke's in the van." At the time, a person pulled up and was like, "Hey, are you selling the coke?" And he was like, "Yeah, give me $50 and grab it from the van." So he was very much selling the items from the van, which was the white powder being the only thing in the van.
Did he ever claim it was someone else's?
He claimed that he did not own the van, but he never claimed that someone else owned the coke. He just kept claiming that he was not possessing said coke.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I could just add one thing too.
Refrain from making statements. Unless you're asked a question, you can't make a statement. I do have a question for you myself. Actually, no. I'll allow Mr. Bianchi to ask that question if he would like.
All right.
Mr. Bianchi, you can step forward.
Hello, Sergeant.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Your Honor, that guy's my boss,
What guy's your
Yeah.
boss?
the sergeant.
The sergeant is your boss?
He's my boss.
In what context?
He hired me at
Yeah,
the
what
car
context?
dealership.
I don't own the car dealership anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that. He's not my boss, Your Honor. Anyway, I was just saying hi to him.
Motion to strike relevancy.
Yeah,
No, I was just saying hi.
that's fine. Not the high, but this saying that he's your boss, because technically
Oh.
it's not relevant anymore.
That's no, I agree. It's not relevant. Sergeant, you mentioned that at the point of me going into the trunk with you, that I did it first.
Correct.
Is that true?
Yes, it is. You opened the trunk first, and to which I walked up and opened it also.
Your Honor,
Yes.
that part's not true.
Objection narrative.
How did you come to that, Mr. Nyman?
He's narrating the facts of the case. He's just stating facts.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Ask relevant questions to what Mr. Nyman just asked
Sure.
for cross, or if you had any questions other than making statements on what was true and what was not.
All right, Sergeant Jardine, you arrived on scene. What was your goal?
My goal was to make contact with you after seeing the post on Twitter about the or cocaine emporium and selling them at Legion Square.
You mentioned two people going into the trunk during the whole trunk opening fiasco, as we can put it, correct?
So, ask the question again.
You mentioned two people going into the trunk. One, you said grabbed as much as he could, and one, you said you didn't mention how much they grabbed, but that they
Objection
also went.
foundation. He only stated one individual during his testimony.
He stated one individual came and grabbed cocaine, and he also stated that Mr. Bianchi opened the trunk and then Jardine opened the trunk after him. So which instance are you referring to, Mr. Bianchi?
I believe he mentioned a sale in front of him.
Unfortunately, I do not recall that.
Your Honor, he did say that. If I may, he stated that an individual approaches Mr. Bianchi and gave him $50, but this is separate from the claims of when they were opening the trunk and several individuals approached.
Yes, that's sound. Objection sustained. Move
Also,
on
I'd
to
like
the
to
next
ask
question.
a 12-second recess and vote to start to death.
Yes, go
I
ahead.
apologize.
Stand by, Mr. Bianchi. Apologies.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can you explain that objection? I'm confused.
So he's disagreeing with the instance of two people coming at the point that you're saying that they came. And he's objecting
Okay.
to that because there was a different instance.
Okay, gotcha.
That is my
So if I ask the
understanding.
question differently, it's okay?
It depends on how you ask it.
Wonderful.
Continue with your questions.
Sergeant, today
Yes.
at Legion Square, today in the courthouse, you mentioned that you saw two individuals go into the trunk at Legion Square. Is that correct?
I never stated that.
Yeah, I'm gonna object to that as well. That's the same question.
Can you mention your grounds again so Mr. Bianchi's not confused?
It's foundation. At this point, actually, I would say that it's just vagueness. He's saying two people under the trunk. Well, at least Jardine and Bianchi opened the trunk. That's two people there.
Yeah, can you
He's-
name a specific on what you're saying he said?
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to ask that guy because he mentioned one guy rummaged, like, as grabbing as much as he could, and then another guy he's mentioned giving me money. So I'm trying to ask him if those two things happened, because he said they happened. So I'm.
Are you objecting to that again, Mr. Nyman?
A compound question. Just have to ask him separately.
Okay.
Sustained.
Mr. Jardine, you said that a guy went into the trunk and grabbed as much as he could, yes?
Yes.
Mr. Jardine, you said that a sale was performed in front of you where somebody gave the defendant, myself, money and then went into the trunk separately from the aforementioned incident.
I never said they entered the trunk. I just said that they pulled up and made some kind of exchange of money.
What was the money for?
Calls for speculation.
Objection
So,
to
like
speculation.
I said in my statement.
Hold on.
Okay.
It's calls for speculation, I believe, but sustained. Don't answer that question. Can you
Okay.
rephrase that to where you don't require the sergeant to speculate on what happened?
Sure.
Please?
What exactly happened with the when somebody gave that defendant money?
Good.
What
Objection
happened?
vagueness.
What?
That's, again, an extremely vague question.
You mentioned money was given.
I'm
asking
gonna
for details.
overrule that. I think he's asking for Jardine to specify what exactly happened. I'm gonna overrule that. Please answer the question.
All right. Someone pulled up on a motorcycle and said to Mr. Bianchi, I don't want to clarify, but something along the lines of, "Are you selling the coke for $50?" Which Mr. Bianchi responded, "Yes." And then I had my back to them, but I heard Mr. Bianchi say something along the lines of, "Thank you, it's in the trunk."
Okay.
Okay. You said, sorry. What did the defendant, Richie Bianchi, myself, say to you after you searched myself, the defendant, Richie Bianchi, and
Objection
then
foundation.
On what grounds?
We never reached the point of what anything that's been said after the arrest. This is going off his own personal experience and not the testimony that's been provided.
Your Honor, we're going off of the first part where he said that blatantly it was said that I was the defendant, myself, Richie Bianchi, was cuffed and then uncuffed. And then
You said searched, not frisked.
He specifically said Terry Frisk. That's what he said.
apologies, Your Honor. I will rephrase the question with the verbiage of frisk instead of search.
I don't think that's going to change his objection. Because, to my memory, Jardine didn't say that you said anything during that.
To my
To my
memory,
memory.
after he frisked me and uncuffed me, he said that I said something.
Your Honor, I can confirm that he did say that Richie Bianchi did provide information after the frisk. So.
Which is what I was leading to with the initial question.
Okay, ask the actual question you have instead of leading to it. Just ask the actual question.
What did Richie Bianchi, myself, the defendant, say after the cuffs were taken off?
As I said in the previous question, I removed the cuffs, chopping it up to it's probably just, someone wasting our time.
What was said, Sergeant?
As I was going to my vehicle, Mr. Bianchi said, "Why would I keep it on me? It's in the van. Why would I keep the coke on me? It's in the van."
Do we have evidence of these words being spoken?
Issue attorney. Past statement.
Sorry, was that a question to the defendant? Or
No,
sorry, to
that
the
was a question to you.
to me.
Yes. Do we have evidence of that?
We don't at this time. We just have eyewitness testimony.
Hey, Your Honor,
Yes.
may I approach you?
Yes, Mr. Nyman, approach with me, please.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Your Honor, if I didn't say that, but he says I did, do I go to jail now? 'Cause I never said that.
I'd also like to mention the defendant's also perjured himself. He claimed he never opened the trunk. Never. But we've just heard that he did, in fact, open the trunk before Sergeant Jardine did.
I also opened it alongside Jardine.
You still open the trunk. You still open the trunk. You claim that you never opened the trunk. You now just admitted to perjury.
I will review that claim.
I also
after this
didn't
case?
open the trunk with Verdin. I didn't do it first. I said I'll look into it with you. And then
Oh, so
he
you're
opened
you're arguing that
it's
you
a
and
panel
Jardine
van.
looked in at the same time.
It's a panel van with a okay, Your Honor. It's a panel van with a single door knob, right? Door handle thing. You opened it, and then the trunk is now visible. That's
this
how
is-
you open a trunk.
This is semantics. He still clearly opened and moved the trunk.
No, I looked into the trunk. I said I'll look into it with you. I never claimed anything about opening a trunk, but my main question is that he said that I said something that I didn't say.
Your Honor, the defendant should have secured an attorney for this. To be honest, this is extremely ironic. He's testifying. He's providing counsel to himself, objecting on witnesses.
I didn't object on anything.
At this point, to represent himself, but to also provide these objections based without actual witness evidence is extremely unorthodox.
Your Honor, in the United States of America, I'm allowed to represent myself whether I have knowledge of the court or not.
But then you cannot also provide testimony.
I can't testify for myself if I'm representing myself?
Yes.
I
Honor, is this
disagree with
true?
that, Mr. Nyman. That specific. I feel like if that was the case, oh man, it would be so much worse. Even though that you disagree with the way he's handling it, and maybe there's merit there, I think he should be allowed to both defend himself in court without legal counsel and also to testify on his own behalf.
But Your Honor, back to my initial point, he's saying something that I didn't say, and there's no evidence of it being said.
Do you have a witness that can disagree with my witness?
Yeah, me.
You have another witness, Mr. Nyman?
I have the probationary who may be able to provide testimony to the opening of the trunk and the actions, Mr. Bianchi.
Your Honor, if that probationary, if he is that superior, then that's
Regardless,
no good.
Mr. Bianchi does have previous similar offenses in this matter compared to a decorated sergeant
That guy
at
dropped
Plain County
it.
Sheriff's Office.
That guy right there, he dropped those charges, Your Honor. He did. The district attorney dropped those charges.
Is that true, Mr. Nyman?
I did, but he still does have existing drug charges on his record.
Why are they still there if they got dropped, Your Honor?
Stand by, gentlemen. Because this could be an issue of someone forgetting to remove it.
That's no good.
A drug charge from April 30th. When did we have that case? That looks like it should be removed. That's a long time ago, Mr. Nyman.
Oh yeah,
that's also on Walker.
That's the one. No, it's both of them, but that one was supposed to be removed.
On both people.
So
I
per your argument,
yeah, I will yield on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that that was the previous charge. Seems to be a mistake on law enforcement's part to not remove that.
It could be
But
also on the DOJ.
We don't have access for that.
So,
but I will also point out, though, that he's still been arrested previously for involvement with narcotics.
Was that
dropped.
removed off his record?
That was dropped.
It wasn't struck from his record, merely the charges were dropped. It is still acknowledged that he was arrested in connection with narcotics.
Okay. I do want a little bit. We can go back to the stance.
Okay.
So what I'm looking for from the state is I just want some clear, articulable facts in excess here, or as much as we can get to prove either Mr. Bianchi is lying or, prove your case even further. So, Mr. Bianchi, do you have any more questions for Sergeant Jardine, or would you like to call...
I have one more question.
Yes, please try not to get him to speculate. Just...
I'll attempt to my best to, dictionary. Sergeant Jardine.
Yes.
Just
You?
making sure. Just hey, I'm being careful here. You said that a sale happened in front of you.
Objection asked and answered. This has already been
Yep.
established.
It's abstained. It was asked and it was answered.
Sergeant Jardine is the person that purchased drugs by the definition of a sale, which was asked and then answered. Did you arrest them?
What are you
No, because they
asking?
took off on a motorcycle and I was dealing with you.
Did you arrest the person that was rummaging through the trunk to grab as much as they could?
As I answered before, they also were able to flee from police and got away.
Okay. When you looked in the trunk, what did you see?
I saw several little piles of white substance.
You say piles. About how big were these piles?
About a gram's worth each.
Jesus. Alright, Jody. Fuck me.
How big would
Roughly.
that be? In inches, centimeters, millimeters? How big
What?
of a pile? Would a
I'm
gram
sorry,
of
I don't
cocaine
carry
be?
a ruler on patrol with me.
Can you...
Objection. This is just confusing this confuses the issues.
Yeah, what
I'm
is your
asking for what
relevance?
he sees.
What is your relevance here? He said it was about 1 gram.
There are... Initially, they were arguing what I saw in the trunk and how I could determine what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. It was the trunk when I looked in. It's just white powder all over the trunk. With my eyes, without opening it.
So the size is relevant because you think it would be more visible?
If it was like neatly packaged into little gram piles with like the word gram written out, he's saying he knows that each one was like, you know, exactly a gram when he looked in.
Sounds like a good question if it was neatly packaged or not. Maybe you should ask that.
I thought I just asked what he saw.
No, you
he's-
asked how big it was in inches and millimeters.
Your Honor, Sergeant Jardine has already stated that he saw piles, not packages.
Well,
Yeah.
then ask and answered. I think you got what you wanted out of there, Mr. Bianchi. Do you have any other questions?
Sure. Yes. 1 moment, please, for a 12.5 millisecond recess.
Yes, granted.
Alright, sorry. Yes, let me just look through my notes here. Mr. Jardine. Sergeant Mr. Jardine.
Yes.
It was stated you did not run the plate of the vehicle.
Correct.
Why?
Here,
Objection asked and answered.
yeah,
This has
asked
already
and
been
answered.
stated.
This has already been stated for the record. Do you want me to repeat what was stated?
Yes, please repeat the answer.
He said, to my memory, that there was people closing in and he didn't have time as there was not enough units on patrol. Is that clarifying what
Sure.
was said, Jardine?
Mr. Go on.
All right. He acknowledged. Continue.
All right. Mr. Sergeant Jardine, would that information not be relevant as a form of evidence to this arrest?
Yes, the information would be relevant, but in some cases, sometimes you are just not able to get that that little piece of evidence, and I felt at the time I had enough with what I had.
And Mr. Sergeant Jardine, what is your goal with this arrest?
Objection asked and answered. Or actually just
What?
relevancy. Objection relevancy.
How is it relevant? I'm asking for the goal of his arrest.
The goal of his arrest isn't relevant, Mr. Bianchi. That has nothing to do with the way he feels. Has nothing to do with this case at all. It's abstained. Move on.
Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Okay.
Right, for that guy right there.
Jardine, I have a
Mr.
question.
Sergeant.
What did you
course, Your
tell
Honor.
Mr. Bianchi he was getting arrested with when you were originally doing that?
Oh, the original charge that I told him was possession of CDS cocaine. And that was all I was planning to charge him with at the time. But then I talked with the DA from there, the prosecutor.
That's not true. That's a lie.
District Attorney, what did you state that the charges would be? Would it be the charges you already listed? Oh,
Never mind. Never mind.
did you? What charges did you state should be added on Richie Bianchi's case here? Was it all the charges you're bringing today, which is CDS, possession of a weapon, and there was another one? Did I clarify that question for you, Mr. Nyman?
Sorry, I lost my hearing entirely there.
Did you hear what Jardine stated?
Not entirely.
He said I asked him what charges he was bringing up originally. And he said it was just possession of CDS, and then after speaking to you, he the things changed. The charges
Yep.
changed.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So are the charges that it was changed to the current charges on the docket specifically? The ones you're bringing against Mr. Bianchi here today?
Is that to me or Sergeant Jardine?
That's to you.
Oh, yeah. Yep, those are correct. Those are the charges I prescribed in this case.
Okay. I was
Your
just personally curious about that. Yes, Mr. Bianchi.
Your Honor, in the jail cells at the police station, I was told that I was being under arrested for the sale of cocaine, and now that's not true. I'm confused why, when I wanted to fight the charges, I got 12 more. Exaggeration. Sorry. Objection on that one. I got however many more.
I can answer that, Your Honor, if you'd like.
Go ahead.
At the time, I had to re-review the case. I believe there was a clause in the intent to distribute which regarded intention and not just weight alone. I was incorrect on that. So the charges were changed. Furthermore, the charges were not filed until after I was already involved and until, in fact, they weren't actually filed until just now, really. So I think what he was told in the cells versus what is actually being brought, it truly is irrelevant to this case. This is not the matter of charges were determined, he was sentenced or sent away. That was it. This was a matter of Sergeant Jardine contacting me and still working to determine the charges.
I think his point was that he came up on this case based on the verbiage alone that Jardine said that he was being charged with the sale of narcotics, which is not in the law book. Is that correct, Mr. Bianchi?
That would be correct.
So technically, even though the stuff wasn't charged, it would be relevant. However, I don't think anything can be done about it because the charges were not filed. Mr. Bianchi, what I would recommend in future is you wait until the charges are filed before coming and jumping the gun on a bench trial.
So I go to jail first?
Well, no, they just say that, these are the charges being filed and, like, they're in progress. Not just like, oh, I think I'm going to charge you with this.
So I wait for the policeman to say I'm filing, not I'm charging?
I guess that's a good point, Mr. Nyman.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. If a cop tells you you're getting charged with something, also, this guy should be a cop, man. He knows the law book more than that guy. Anyway,
please refrain from making snarky comments. I will give you contempt.
Sorry. This guy would be a good policeman, Your Honor.
Just continue what you're stating, please.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of, excuse my language, not fair, in a sense. to like to wait for the verbiage of what's being said before you're requesting to fight for your rights? I mean,
Your Honor, we established a very dangerous precedent if we're going to start basically combating every time a police officer is working to decide their charges. It removes a lot of sorry of discretion. Sorry, it removes a lot of officer discretion as is prescribed, and they have the ability. If it is simply reduced to, as soon as you stay one charge, even if that is not what is being filed and is not what the officer believes is appropriate or best for the circumstances, is what they have to stick with. An individual who, say, pushed an individual and they twisted their ankle. If the police officer takes them in custody and says you were under arrest for aggravated assault, but then reduces that to simple assault, regardless, they still have a full probable cause arrest. But all that is changing is what they're determining, and it is not charges that have been filed. Until they reach the courtroom, whatever charges the police are working to determine, let me rephrase that. Until the charges are inputted into the mobile database terminal system and submitted, it does not matter what the officers are working to determine. It is only once they are actually decided that they affect anything. We set a very dangerous precedent if officers are going to be penalized for using their best judgment to readjust.
No,
and make
I
decisions.
agree with your point there,
Honor.
Mr. Nyman. Stand by, Mr. Bianchi. I'm not finished. So I think there is a good point in what Mr. Bianchi said, though, where he's stating that like the whole purpose of him coming to this is because he was told he's being charged with something, and that's why he was coming to it, because that charge didn't exist. So in my mind, it technically it is a little bit unfair because that like he couldn't fight that specific charge anymore because that charge it's no longer exists. And also to mention that until we came into this courtroom, those charges weren't filed, correct?
or informed to myself.
Sorry, they were filed before we left. I believe they filed before reached here. But if an officer pulls over an individual and states they are under arrest for drunk driving is not a charge in our law book. But driving under the influence is. If we say that the individual is able to walk, or we penalize that officer for saying drunk driving when they are clearly referring to driving under the influence, and would, as a result, restate that at the courthouse, we again set that precedent of officers are just going to remain entirely silent until they read through the entire penal code, which will slow down arrests, they'll slow down the processes. The matter of the fact is, Mr. Bianchi rushed to call for a bench trial before actually being instructed what his final charges were, which is entirely on Mr. Bianchi. Had he waited to be told by Sergeant Jardine what his charges would be, then we would not be in this same argument.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Bianchi.
when the policeman says, "This is what I'm doing," what is to lead me to believe that there will be a second time the policeman says, "What are you? This is what I'm doing." Should he not like? I mean, is he gonna say to me, "This is what I'm currently charging you with," but that might change within the next 4.5 minutes?
Your Honor, this is semantics. During the final arrest process, charges change, they adapt, they become more appropriate based on the situation, they become lighter, they become harsher. This is entirely semantics by Mr. Bianchi because he entered a case which, and I quote from him, he entered because he wanted to earn money and sue the police.
Your Honor, I shouldn't be viewed any harsher as a person based on things I say like that. I should not be charged legally through our Department of Justice based on how I act, but what I do. The things I said regarding this case, also, there is no case against the police department in which I can make money this time. So if we're upping charges based on what people say, then that's...
This is semantics again. I'm pointing out that Mr. Bianchi was going after this for the simple reason of he was trying to get a free win.
Okay.
And
Your
now that
Honor,
he learned that this is
Enough, please. Sorry to interrupt,
Honor, I'm
Mr.
just here to
Nyman. Mr. Richie Bianchi, please stop talking for a second. So, on the specific claim of what Mr. Bianchi is arguing here, I will deliberate on that. I wouldn't expect any mega changes, but I could see a future of law enforcement not specifically stating exactly what charge they're being charged for, and maybe in the future it would be, you are under arrest, I will let you know what charges you are getting when we're at the department, just to remove it and make sure that civilians in the future are not misunderstood. However, I will deliberate on this. This is not something that will be set in stone until I speak to the other judge and I actually have a conversation with myself and re-review the court footage. Now,
could I add one thing?
make it short, Mr. Bianchi.
In the cell after I requested the bench trial, the district attorney came up to me and he said something about, "Do you know what constructive possession is?" And then I was like, "What?" And then I was brought here, which leads me to believe that they were aware they were changing the charges before I was brought here, and didn't want to let me know until I was brought here.
Okay. We can move on.
With constructive possession, I was just trying to make him aware that that is a thing. It does not have to be just actual possession, as an opportunity for him to reconsider his options.
We can move on. Let's go ahead and call the probationary deputy. I don't have your name. I apologize. To the stand, Jody, you can step down and swear him in, please.
Your Honor, I think that's a lady.
Oh, I apologize. I thought it was a deputy. My apologies, ma'am.
I'm a deputy, and just probationary.
Yeah, I thought it was the sir over there. Ma'am, can you state your name and rank for the record?
Full name Dinah Drake, probationary deputy.
All right, one of you deputies, please swear her in.
Probationary Drake, will you raise your right hand?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. All right. I just want to make sure that this is handled quickly because we do have a case coming up in about 34 minutes. We might need to have another one of these. We'll see. But basically what I'm looking for here, Mr. Nyman, and I'll guide you and direct you specifically here. Well, I'm not asking you to lead the witness. I just want to hear what happened from her point of view, and any other questions you think would be relevant to this case. Please ask them.
Sure thing. Were you present at Richie Bianchi's arrest today?
Yes, I was.
And what did you witness during that arrest?
I witnessed, well, first, I was at the bean machine where he originally came up to me asking me if I wanted Coke. That was my first encounter with him ever. And then I told Sergeant over here about it, and then we went over to Legion Square, where pretty much everything that Sergeant
Just in your own
Jardine
words,
said.
please. Just state it. If you don't mind, just in your own words, just restate the course of events.
So I told Jardine about it, and then we went over. He asked him if he was selling Coke, and the defendant said yes.
Stand by one, ma'am. Are you saying that Jardine asked
Yes.
the defendant? I'm going to strike that on basis of speculation, even though it's secondhand. Just please state what you effectively witnessed and not state what someone else did. Do you understand my meaning? Am I clear on that? So
Yes.
So,
Your Honor, I think she was testifying that she witnessed him ask that question.
oh, I thought she was saying that she thought this happened. My apologies.
No, I was there. He asked him, the defendant said yes, and so Sergeant Jardine placed him in cuffs, frisked him, and didn't find anything on him, and then released him, and then asked him,
He found a weapon.
Then we were going to get in the car, and he said that he didn't have it on him, because why would I keep it on me?
Sorry,
Define
just in this-
it.
yeah.
The coke,
And who is stating
the
why
plaintiff, or defendant, not plaintiff.
Okay, so you're in the vehicle and continue from there.
And so Jardine asks him, is it in the van? And he says yes. Then they go over to the vehicle, and the
And
defendant.
sorry, were you with them at this point?
Yes.
And how close were you located?
I was pretty much right next to the van the whole time.
Okay. Or approaching the van, like your position throughout the case. Were you, say, a while back sometimes? Were you always close?
I was just standing right next to the passenger door of the truck, which was parked right next to the van.
Okay. Please continue. So you are approaching the van.
And the defendant opens the trunk, and then so does Sergeant Jardine. Then he sees that there's coke, I believe.
Sorry, motion to strike that sees the coke.
On what grounds exactly?
That is speculation about what Jardine sees.
Strike.
So you personally witnessed Jardine open the trunk.
After the defendant, yes.
Yeah, and I just like to remind you, just what you saw personally. For this.
I personally did not look in the trunk. I did run the plate, but it did not come back to anything. Then
Okay.
he placed the defendant in handcuffs again, and I'm not recalling anything else. My mind is not working right now, seeing as it was like 2 hours ago.
Man, people got some short
Okay.
time memories. Christ.
Your Honor.
And,
Yes, Mr. Bianchi.
Oh no, he can continue. Sorry, I thought he was done talking.
and to clarify, who did you see open the trunk first?
The defendant.
Based on Mr. Bianchi's mannerisms, his interaction with you, and what he was saying, did it appear the items located in the van were claiming to be his property?
Yes, seeing as he came up to me at the bean machine and asked me if I wanted to buy any coke. And then when we went to Cross Legion Bank, he asked me if I rethought about buying the coke.
Prior to Mr. Bianchi being placed in handcuffs, did you see anyone else go to the van?
Yes, it was a male with, I believe, black hair and like a white shirt. And
Objection.
pay him.
Speculation.
Do you have anything on that,
Yeah, she
Ivan?
said she can't remember things from 2 hours ago already.
Your Honor, she's trying the best to extract the best of her recollection. And this is prior to the point where she said she can't remember anything else?
I'm gonna overrule that objection. Please continue.
I also, when I was in the vehicle, I heard someone else go to the defendant and give him money. I saw a hand-to-hand exchange, and then go to the van and take some amount of bags. I didn't see
Your
it.
Honor, I'd like to strike the regards to money, just keep the hand-to-hand exchange and taking bags.
We are not gonna be striking that.
All right. All right. Okay. That's the only other questions I had at this time. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Bianchi.
Yes. Your Honor, a question for you.
Yes, if you could just. Oh, there we go. Go ahead.
The two witnesses said different things on what I said, and that backs up me saying that
Your
the
Honor,
sergeant.
objection narrative. If this is the case, then the defendant's more than welcome to impeach the witness through standard questioning.
Let him finish his point first. Continue.
Your Honor, the first witness, Mr. Sergeant Jardine, said that I said something, and then the lady said that I said something, and those two things were different. And you said that if there was another witness that could, prove that what I said, that would, they'd be brought up. But she disproved what he said that I said that I'd said.
What?
Your Honor, can we get some more clarity here?
Yeah.
I'm
What
totally
instance?
When they
what
said-
instance are you specifically?
I'm referring to when it was apparently said that I said, why would I keep it on me? It's in the truck, the van, or whatever was said. I didn't say that, and she said what actually happened, which was I said, why would it be on me? Because that'd be illegal. So I did say that part, but then she said that Mr. Jardine asked me where it is.
Mr. Bianchi, you
then I
have
said
you
it was
have
in the-
lost me.
Okay.
I am very confused.
I will slow down.
Your Honor, he's claiming that the statement from him that coke is located in the van was not made, which is semantics. Jardine did not claim in his testimony that he was word for word. He merely stated that Mr. Bianchi made a claim that it was in the van, which was reiterated by Jardine asking, "Is it in the van?" It being referring to coke, and Bianchi confirming that.
I will
Jardines
review that claim specifically. And I guess I got a list now. I will review that claim, but there's probably a better place to impeach the witness.
Furthermore,
Go ahead.
sorry, Your Honor, I'd like to actually have a motion to review the claim of Mr. Bianchi about never opening the trunk. At this point, we have two witnesses testifying, which appears blatant perjury to me.
Well, if the two witnesses contradict each other,
On this point, they did confirm that Mr. Bianchi was the first to open the trunk.
you are correct in that, to my memory. I will re-review it when I get a chance sometime tonight.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I wasn't the first person to open the trunk. I mean,
At this moment in time,
these
you're
two
not
are both the-
testifying. You're not testifying. You were just
Okay.
asking questions, so it's not
Okay.
relevant to what you're saying. You've already stated that as well.
Your Honor, can I get a reread on her answer regarding the handoff of things?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a court clerk, so you're gonna have to do it per memory. I apologize.
What?
I don't remember what she said verbatim, as I don't have someone here writing to my right.
Okay. Hello, witness. Ma'am. Your Honor, the witness can't hear me.
I can.
Oh, sorry. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Oh, there we go.
Jesus
You
fuck.
mentioned the passing off of packages and/or money. Is this correct?
Yes.
What did you see?
I saw a male hand you something and then go to the van. And I think I heard you say you can take 4.
Absolutely. And was this person apprehended?
No, because he got away. We don't have enough units.
Was there any attempt at him to not, quote unquote, get away? Was he asked to stop moving?
Your Honor, objection relevancy. I don't see the facts of another individual why it would affect this. We've established that the police were operating on a very limited capacity.
Your Honor, I'm trying to establish the fact that I was not in direct possession or constructive possession of the drugs, and there were 2 people now mentioned in and obviously in direct possession that the law enforcement officers just didn't care about.
Ms. Bianchi, if you did not know at that time it
Whoa,
was
whoa,
cocaine, then
hey,
how are
hey.
you sure that
Hey.
they were in possession?
Hey.
Yeah, please
Talking about what
direct.
the officers are saying.
Please direct your concerns to me, Nyman, not to the person speaking. What is your concern is relevancy? What is your relevancy? What basis are you trying to cover here, Mr. Bianchi? With the question you
I'm
just
trying
asked.
to establish the fact that these officers knowingly had two people in possession of cocaine and did nothing about it, but are going after me, who is not in possession of cocaine whatsoever in any sense of the
Your Honor,
word.
Mr. Bianchi has made multiple claims that he did not know it was cocaine, and now he's claiming that those individuals did know it was cocaine, and it was cocaine the whole time. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too by claiming both that he was not aware it was, but he was also aware enough it was cocaine to know that those individuals were in possession.
Your Honor, what I'm saying is the officers, of what they knew at the time between me and the two individuals, was that there could potentially be cocaine present. The two individuals, as we just heard from the witness statements, had possession of whatever it was, and I did not have possession of whatever it was. And therefore, I'm arguing the fact, and what is relevant is they're going after me, who was not in possession of whatever it was, and these two were, in fact, and stated by law enforcement, in possession. So my point is, why?
Stand by one, please. You're objecting on relevancy, right? No.
Yes, Your Honor. And again, we've established they were operating on a very limited capacity. They were handling Richie Bianchi at that time. They can't immediately drop everything and chase another individual based on a few words alone.
Also,
Bianchi
per
was the target.
testimony, there were people chasing him. Per Jardin's testimony, there was people chasing
Yes.
the subjects. Okay, I'm gonna sustain this. Let's move on.
All right. Ma'am, why could you not run the the license plate of the vehicle?
Objection Foundation. She stated she did run the license plate.
She stated she did run the license.
Interesting. Thought it was previously stated it wasn't ran.
Jardine stated that it wasn't ran, and she
Jardine stated
it.
he did not run it.
I
Okay.
don't know verbatim.
Ma'am, who was the vehicle owned by?
It did not come back in our system.
So it was not owned by anybody.
More than likely owned by a local.
Okay. Have we looked for said local?
Obviously not.
Objection confuses the.
Sorry. Was there a local on the scene of the event?
No.
Objection relevancy. We're getting into local case law at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain the stuff. Don't ask questions about locals. It just confuses everyone.
Okay. I will ask questions about the vehicle.
Yeah, the vehicle side.
Okay, the vehicle. You stated that I opened the trunk first. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what to ask with that one. I mean, that's just not true, unfortunately.
Stop making statements, please.
No, I'm gonna stop making statements. I'm gonna go sit down.
Okay.
I'd like to approach the redirect, Your Honor.
Yes, if you would like.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask you a question. And I understand you may not know the answer to this. Would a rented vehicle appear in your MDT system?
I do not know, seeing as I'm a probationary deputy.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor, but I would like to call Sergeant Jardine back to the stand next.
Ma'am, if you could return to the gallery. Thank you very much. Jardine, step to the chair. Understand that you're still under oath. Ooh, Jardine's in his head.
Yeah.
Probationary deputy, how long you been on the job? I'm just curious.
I was hired last night.
Alright, thank you. And other deputy, how long you been on a job?
I've been over a month. I'm a senior deputy.
Alright, get in the chair, please.
Absolutely.
Because I'll ask you this question. Understand that anything you say from here on out is under penalties of perjury. Do not lie and stand, please. To your understanding, does rented vehicles come up in the system?
They do not.
All right. If you would like, Mr. Nyman, I could wait until Jardine comes back, but we are on a time crunch here.
No, that was my only question, Your Honor. No further questions.
Okay. Deputy, what is your name for the record?
My name is Senior Deputy Wildman.
Wildman, were you involved with the scene at all, or are you just here?
I was one of the ones that were chasing the other guy.
Okay. Good to know. Awesome. You can step down.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna need some time to deliberate, but is there any closing remarks any of you would like to make?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
The facts in this case are fairly simple. Richie Bianchi, knowing full well that van, planted cocaine in the rear of that van, or arrived with it. He then proceeded to sell it, thinking that he could find a loophole in the law, claiming that he was not in possession, despite being in full knowledge of it, to the point where he advertised it as cocaine online, sold it many times, took the money. That is a massive risk for an individual to take for some white powder they just think is cocaine. To actively sell it is blatant evidence he knew what he was peddling. Richie Bianchi claimed multiple times that it was cocaine to officers, to civilians, to everyone he sold it to. He was in full knowledge of it. He knew what was happening. Richie Bianchi went on to so far to open the van and purge himself on the stand, to go on to once and the cells claim that he's just doing this for another payout. He is an individual simply seeking to abuse our justice system and abuse the time that we have in the Department of Justice. This is so clearly an incident where an individual is trying to manipulate the law for their favor, but that is not the case. He was in clear constructive possession of that cocaine. He knew about its presence, he knew about the illegality of it, and he had domain over it. That being, he held a firearm in possession and held the public belief that was in his possession, which is reinforced by his Twitter posts, engagements, and speaking with the public. Richie Bianchi was in possession of that cocaine, regardless if it was in his pockets, on the floor, or in a dumpster. He knew where it was, he knew why it was there, and he knew that he could control it, and that's why he was peddling it. Richie Bianchi is guilty on all counts. Thank you.
Okay. Now, before I get you to do your closing remarks, Mr. Bianchi, I do have a question.
Yes.
Is the specific exhibits of the tweets, is that your Twitter account? I don't want to subpoena this. I'm just looking for an answer.
I got you.
For reference, it's the Richie B Twitter account.
Good to know. All right. Do you have any closing remarks?
Yes.
And for the record, he tweeted at me directly.
I said, hi, Verdin.
Yes.
Mr. Judge, Your Honor, and the court, and the jury, and them people.
It's just me.
I was not in possession in any way, shape, or form of anything besides my glow sticks and my handgun and the boots on my feet. I disagree with what has been said here today regarding my knowledge of the substance. I disagree with me exercising my weapon in any way to have possession. I did not and will not and never will use my weapon to possess that vehicle that was at Legion Square. I did not open the vehicle first before the officer. I did not open the vehicle beforehand. I never touched the vehicle. I did not own the vehicle. I did not possess anything. Yeah, none of that. I mean, completely disagree with what is going on here today. And I also think there's a blatant disregard for the people who actually were in possession of whatever it may have been, which has now been determined to be cocaine. And yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know if you're interested in offering a bail, District Attorney, but given if you are, I would say if you're gonna reference a number, this wasn't. He did comply, to my understanding, with the arrest, and it wasn't technically violent. So
I also told the police multiple times beforehand, like I already said.
he
About
did
it and
also.
reported everything.
If I was working with your understanding, it would be a self-report.
I would say I reported prior to quote unquote starting the sale that hey, there's a van here with stuff in it. Can you check it out? And that was
Yes.
it.
So, are you
So-
interested in any bail amounts in specific?
Your Honor, I believe, given that we are talking about 3 felonies and involvement of a firearm, I believe bail
Oh.
should be set at $29,000.
Oh, Your Honor,
Yes.
can I add a line to my closing statement, please? I know that's not normal, or as the district attorney. Would
I understand that this is your first time, so I'll allow it.
Okay. I also feel like the police did not care about the existence of the white powder until there was someone to pin it to, and therefore taking it off the streets was not their goal, but pinning it onto someone in specific was, and they chose the easiest person, the one that was not resisting in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. 29,000 is pretty high, District Attorney. While there was a firearm involved, it wasn't used, and I think I would be willing to do half of that.
I would argue it wasn't involved whatsoever.
Well, that's a matter
It
of
just
perspective.
existed.
So, are you able to post bail of half of 29,000, whatever that is? Math. I'm very tired.
It's going to be 14,500.
Are you able to post that bail?
If necessary.
Well, I'm not done here, and technically you would be held until trial until the next case, whenever we can get it scheduled. So, if you would like to be out of jail during that time, posting bail is recommended. You will get that money back if you do show up to court.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. So if you can send me that amount of what was the specific number, Mr. Nyman?
14.5.
14.5. You could send
I
that
have
to
your
me.
phone number.
Sure.
Mm.
It is on Yellow Pages.
We can go out for lunch sometime.
Absolutely not. So I am looking for another date when we can do this. I don't know when everyone will be available. Tomorrow's probably not a good day for me.
Your Honor,
This just has to occur prior to the 8th.
Oh yeah, it does.
it very much does. It definitely does.
I'm having a lot of problems giving you my phone number. I apologize.
You can always wire it to me and I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, do that. I'm
I
too
have
old for phones.
cash. Does cash work?
Do you have that much in cash?
I have $4,000.
That's not enough.
I think, isn't there an ATM in the lobby?
Bailiff, so you could escort Mr. Bianchi to the lobby to see if there's a ATM, please.
I'm a free man.
Well, not technically. You're still on the
Who
hook.
is that guy? He looks messed up.
And,
Go
at
get your
this
money.
point, are we adjourned pretty much just so
We are adjourned.
Okay, I'm gonna get snacks before I
Yeah, me too.
dehydrate to death.
Yeah, obvious. I'm innocent. Excuse me, Your Honor. He doesn't have keys. Wee. Where is it?
Oh, he's running.
Did someone direct me towards the Adam?
I appear to be incorrect. You might be able to
Your
send
Honor!
a number now. You might be able to send a number now. It could have been just a thing.
Your Honor, there's no ATM. Do these guys have cash? Hey, do you
What?
guys have
It's not
cash on
work.
you? You
No,
guys have
don't give him
cash on you?
cash. Why can't I get my phone number to
I need
anybody?
I need 10,000. I can send you.
Christ.
Yeah. I don't know. Sir, give you an IOU?
So who's in the oh
I'm good for the money.
Just send him a bank transfer.
I can't get
Alright.
my fucking phone number to him.
All right, read your phone number to
Fucking
me, please.
system.
Read it to
There
me.
we go. Holy shit, I got it.
Oh, you can send
I
it now?
hate this
Oh,
shit.
heck yeah, Judge.
Phones are so
I'm gonna
goddamn
call you
stupid.
all the time.
Or Reggie.
Jay?
Cap Reg.
Well, that's gonna be my second
Happy
last trial. So.
Yes, I heard there was a court case this evening, so I stepped off the yacht.
Yep, I got that.
Out for all the peasants here, yes.
It was 14-5, correct?
14-5.
Drives his and everything.
There you go.
Alright,
You're a rich man,
you are now
Mr.
free to
Judge.
go
In the water.
until
Oh,
we can get another
so
thing
wait.
scheduled.
Mr. Judge,
Yes.
hey, can I ask a question? What was the
Yes.
point of that trial? If we have
Uh,
another one.
So here's the thing is I'm going to deliberate. So I'm going to decide whatever was said was true or false. And if I have any more
Okay.
questions, I'll ask it at the thing. And if I don't, I will give you my result at that case.
So if, let's say, you think that the charges shouldn't have happened at that trial, you'll say, I, the judge, think that this is bye-bye, and then I
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah.
Okay, so it could be like a quick thing.
Yeah, it could be a quick thing, but the thing is like there was a lot of arguments in that, and there might be other questions I might have.
Yeah.
So, but for right now,
Right.
we'll try to get something scheduled on the Discordia, and it needs to be for the 8th. So, if you can give me available dates, and obviously this is going to conflict with other bullshit.
Yeah. Also, Your Honor, I
Yes.
didn't want to say this in the courtroom.
Say again?
I didn't want to say this in the courtroom, but the bailiff, I have a video of him doing manslaughter, and I was very scared the whole time of that.
Yeah, maybe you should report that to the
Can
integrity
that
or
affect the
something.
court case? Because I was arrested by his department after I witnessed it, and they said, just ignore it, just ignore it. I'm
You should
very
report it.
scared.
His ex
Okay,
lawyer
I'm gonna
testifying
report.
against
Hey
him,
guys,
so.
Oh wow.
Alright, we're ready to go in.
Keep the case.
am I on
Okay.
parole? How does
Ro-
bail work?
Don't
Just-
go to jail.
If you commit a crime and get arrested, you lose bail.
Hey, yeah, we'll definitely
Do we have the subject? Do we have a subject here? Does anyone know?
He's already posting propaganda again on Twitter.
Yep.
I don't care what he posts on Twitter. But yeah, it's the subject here.
Yo.
I do not believe so. That's a Jardine
second.
question, though. He's in charge of
Hey,
court
can I
duties
get 6
today.
Jardine's in his
theater
head, I
meals
think.
delivered to the courthouse
know.
as soon as possible, ASAP fast?
Hey, detective, do you know where the subject is?
It's gonna be at 6-0. Gotta be here ASAP fast.
All right. Well, I'm
Probably
gonna
coming in.
need
640.
someone to collect him because I think he's at Bolingbroke still.
Okay.
Alright, thanks.
Okay, I mean, I guess I can do it.
What's his name?
Mike Randall?
Mike Randall.
Mike Randall.
Yeah, with the mile-long evidence list.
Is he at Bolingbroke still? Should be. Okay, well, we need to go collect him from Bolingbroke then.
Curtis.
All right. Let's go. Man, I picked the worst day to do. Fix a sleeping
Can I get
schedule.
some officers to tack one?
Yeah.
We need to go
I'm
pick up
glad I'm
the
not doing same day
suspect from Bolingbroke.
deliberations. If I had to deliberate this day, I
May.
would have been wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on.
Well, you know what though? This is gonna be a very one. It's gonna be like an hour of me just rambling, and then maybe a couple minutes of him, and then it's done.
Well, yeah, and then he's gonna go back to jail, and I'm gonna deliberate, and then I'll have my result. And then we need to have this all done before the 8th. I have so
Yep.
many other things. I caused this backlog, but honestly, it's worth it, because same-day deliberations kind of fucked me in the past. Not to say anything I've stated on is wrong, it's just, it's easier
Yeah.
to review everything.
I know though this one will be fairly easy. Because
He's not,
as far
he's
as I'm
not defending
aware,
himself. He's
he-
defending himself,
he's
right?
he's defending himself. He's not submitted any witnesses nor evidence. So
And he hasn't striked or requested anything that you stated to be striked.
There's literally nothing in his defense.
Who's knocking?
So, I have no idea. Maybe the door's locked.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Were you knocking?
No.
Excuse me, which side do we sit on?
Doesn't matter. Does not matter.
Hey, Mr. Crane, how are you doing?
Just sit down.
Bro, sit the fuck
Mr.
down,
who?
idiot. Jesus Christ.
Give me.
I said
Mr. who?
Mr. Doug, sorry.
No,
sorry.
no, that's not it either, motherfucker.
Hey, are you awake yet?
It's Verdin.
You're still awake. Hey,
What the?
when you see
Oh,
see
Jesus
Lucille
Christ.
McDougan and James May, you got him to sit over here. Okay.
Over here.
Yeah, over here.
Mr.
Mr. Duck. Bruh.
Mr.
Is
Name
there
and Council.
anybody on the radio channel that can help you?
Dude, I don't have my full thing anymore.
Guardian. Confirm. I just got a hold of Jardine. Give me just 1 second.
Alright, we're just looking for our robes. That's all. I gotta get better at coordinating law enforcement. They're kind of like a chicken with their head cut off, but they they need to be kind of aimed in one direction, you know? I think it's a shirt. That's what I'm thinking. No, that wasn't it. It would be too low. Maybe here. Dude, where the hell is this? Where are my judge robes? I can't believe I didn't have this done. Fucking dummy. What I get for being stupid. Alright, well.
I can still hear everything.
Can I someone to let me out?
Oh, is that what I think?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be on the right hand side a little.
Is that the Murph?
I did, but it's still.
That's weird.
Do we know if
Yeah.
he's on the way now? I don't even know if it's in the city.
Somebody parked their bike in the lobby like a knucklehead, so got impounded for a week.
Did
Yeah,
you at
there's
least get? Did you at least get a
There's
name?
deputies out there. What's up?
Did you get a name?
Vel. I can't read this.
And sir, did you say you weren't searched?
Well, CSTF Fox? I don't know.
There was a bunch of us that weren't searched. We just kind of walked in.
I don't think anybody was searched.
Yeah,
All right.
there was nobody outside. We just kind of walked in.
All right, members in the gallery, follow me, please. We need to come out.
Mr. Judge.
Follow me, please, everyone in the gallery.
You guys need to go to the lobby. Alright, I'm gonna have to take this hammer.
Why
from
do you
Hawker.
take my
Excuse me,
flashlight?
Jardine. There's a lot more coming. I apologize.
Holy
all these
guacamole.
people weren't searched in the gallery either.
You will get it back, but I do need to take it.
Mr. Judge.
Okay, is that a
Alright.
weapon?
Stand by.
or what?
It is.
Oh, I
Next
didn't.
week.
Yeah, if everybody in the gallery could please make their way out to be searched.
Pardon me, sir. Pardon me.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you. Appreciate ya. You too, my good man.
I just got searched by Jardy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yo,
boss.
you did approve for me to carry in here.
yes.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah, fist win.
Man, I had such a full day.
Got a pistol on him, my man. What are you doing?
He's good. He's cleared for a pistol.
Alright.
I got like 6 guns on me. Pistols, least of your worries.
The 2 on your arms don't count.
Yeah, but the 3 more in my pockets do. Plus the knife.
Plus the knife. Yeah, you can't forget about that.
Hey, listen, man, you never know. I run out of bullets in one, throw it away, get the other. Run out of that one.
No,
throw
you
it away,
just
get
take
the
you
other.
just take off the slide and start stabbing people. That is completely normal.
Exactly. It's called a bayonet.
That makes shit
Pistol
bayonet.
bayonet.
I don't think you'd have the time to it.
I don't think you have a time to get a haircut. Look at that. Get yourself a fade, man.
No, you
Look at
just
your
you just
fucking
gotta send
face,
it.
dog.
You just gotta send it. You gotta go bald, man. You just gotta.
You
send
got it.
it.
Look at that hairline. You ain't pulling shit. Sorry, bro. You gotta hear it. I'm sorry. I'm in a bit of a disrespectful mood. That wasted a lot of my prep time.
I mean, dog, your face looks like you're a half-ass Freddy Krueger.
He's the judge. Oh wait, you were pointing at me or pointing at the judge?
I was pointing at you.
At least I got an
Good
excuse for
answer.
mine. What about
Good
your
answer.
fucking Bob the Builder?
I'm middle-aged. I'm getting
yeah, I
old.
bet.
My hairline's
I've done it
receding.
quite
Yeah, it's
recently,
gonna
but
happen to
yeah.
you too.
Yeah,
Wait
yeah.
till you get a bit older. man.
I don't think I'm gonna look like Gollum.
I get-
Jesus.
I get
I don't know. The stress might get to you.
haircut.
I don't know, Verdin.
Yeah, Mr. D.
I can, yeah.
You seen this fucker? He looks like he crawled out of Chernobyl.
I know one. I know.
He's still got his hair though.
Who?
Unless it's a wig.
I think it's a wig. Look at that hairline.
Is it a wig?
By the way, buy a fucking razor, man.
What do you
Ugly
mean?
as a rat beard.
No, the beard's great.
Look at that. There's a little bit of gum in there.
Why do we hate DJ?
You ever
Go
rub
sit
a-
down. You're a witness.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't get.
yeah,
You don't
go-
get to be a lawyer today.
Well, shh, 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 shh. You are a witness, though. Go take a seat, please. Alright, if everyone find their way to the gallery in a timely manner and take your seats.
Sir, yes, sir.
Hello, Mr.
Your Honor, I think we're gonna need megaphones for this one. I'll go track one down.
Yeah, I actually have an
I
extra.
need one.
I do have an extra, I think.
I want it.
I should.
How are you doing tonight, Mr.
Never mind. I do not have an extra.
Oh, I know where I'm going.
You
Allegedly.
got one?
Or, no, I thought you was giving me yours. I'll give it back.
This is a mass casualty event. There's a lot of fucking people here. Well, honestly, I'd like to see if enemy fuckers. Who the fuck keeps leaving these doors unlocked? Idiots. I'd love to see a enemy machine down here. Just for the subject, and then I don't have to expose myself like I'm very paranoid.
How the fuck did he get a firearm in prison?
Bro. What are these guys doing? Are you serious?
What is going on? Yeah, tell him. Yeah, I'm not pushing for the death penalty. Not pushing for the death penalty. Tell me when he doesn't have the gun.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sir Reginald Chapsky.
Oh, that's fucking. That's the chief.
Come again? My name is Sir Reginald Chapsky.
I haven't gone anywhere.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm coming through.
Oh, we still need to search it.
Oh,
Make
you
sure
can
the
come
door's
through.
still
Oh,
open.
we're almost
Yeah, I
done.
need that door locked.
Can you search me? Oh.
Coming through. Oh, did I just lock you in? Were you trying to get out?
What is your name, kind
No,
sir?
you're good, you're good, you're good. There's food and coffee in the middle of the room.
The website where I
Oh, I
can't
gotcha.
access it.
To the man.
I'm sure as
flapping
many
fisticuffs, what
contestants
was your
in this
name?
one might be a good
Don't say
individual
anything.
to
Answer this like
be
you're
on the
talking to
police
an
side of things.
officer.
All right.
Strip him entirely. Have nothing on him, and let officers know that if they see his wife, don't let her in the courtroom.
On the ground.
I want to. Why are you sitting on the
Okay.
bench?
And yeah, I'm gonna push whatever I want. I'm not gonna be harassed by him. Thanks, May.
We're on the bench because it's a bench trial.
Yeah, so I got news for you if you have a chance to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That was, Mr.
So he had a gun on him, and the only way officers were able to disarm it is if I on speakerphone said I wasn't pushing the death penalty, and he has said that if I go back to your witness seat, if I push for death penalty, his wife is gonna bomb the building.
It doesn't feel the same when it's not 21st.
Death, she's gonna bomb us?
Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm gonna pre-trial
Murphy?
request.
What's up?
How many officers do we have on patrol?
I heard that you little
Well,
snake.
I didn't ask you, Mr. Bianchi.
no, I'm just hoping my guess is right.
I got 11 on duty right now.
All right, I'm
Two of
gonna
which are
need you to
here.
come over here.
Another one's
please.
pulling up.
I'm gonna need
Two
you to
are
come
pulling
up.
up right
Can,
now.
if you could please come over to me, please.
I'll also be making a pre-trial request. He does not be taken out of handcuffs for any reason at all.
Granted.
Yep.
Hello, Murphy.
How's it going?
This is I am the judge. I don't know if we've ever met before. I just saw people calling you thing. There is a bomb threat.
Okay.
From his wife. I don't know who the fuck that is, but
Paula Randall?
yeah,
Yes.
no idea. But I would like a heightened stance, and this is a terror threat. So I would recommend. This is completely up to you, but ARs probably should be present.
Okay.
As there was a terror threat, and this is a mass casualty event. As you can see, how many fucking people are in here.
Alrighty, give me a few minutes. I'll get it squared away. All right.
Thank you. Oh, and also, if you could direct the people to never take him into cuffs, that is from the judge. The person who's getting brought down here, if you could
Say that again.
The person who is at trial, Mike Randall, he does not get taken out of cuffs.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I
All
appreciate
right.
you.
Let me go.
Okay, free trial granted.
Did you shit your pants?
I appreciate it. And at this time, I'm sure you can imagine the state is going to reconsider their request for sentencing and will advise the beginning of the trial.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things going to be reconsidered here today.
Yep.
All right, find your seat.
Honestly, I will say I haven't heard a single good British accent today.
Mr. Bianchi, find your seat, please. Don't be rude to the other members in the gallery. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen of the gallery, be advised that the subject is en route. Also note that the threats, regardless of their valor or not, your safety is very important, and I have increased the stance of law enforcement, requested it to be increased. So there is going to be plenty of people around. So, you know, you might see officers with big guns. Don't be scared. They're here to protect you. We'll be started here in a few moments. Oh, I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
Traffic court.
They're currently en route with Mr. Randall. All units were instructed to post up out front with ARs. I got 4 units coming right now. The others, like I said, are en route as part of the convoy.
How is our security on exterior exits? So are we on the ground or are we on roofs?
I'm gonna wait for the units to get here, and once they get here, we'll have a little briefing on where to stand.
Yeah, I would recommend to tactically think where a bomb could be placed. So like this corner of the building would be really good. Up here would be really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some units. Does PD have access to the door up there?
PD has access to all the locks other than this one.
Okay, sweet. I will work with them then, and we'll get some security going for you, right?
Yep. Thank you very much. You're a treat.
Yep.
Love Murphy. Crane's really pissed off at him, but I love him. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I love the turnout today. It's really nice. I don't know why I took out my headset considering it's wireless. I can't interact with this still. What the fuck is this? Decorate home? Bro. Could I, like, actually decorate this place? That'd be so sick. Members of the gallery, if you could remove your mask, please.
You want to speak up, my man?
The person who... he could hear me. If I can get everybody who has a mask, so just specifically the man in the beautiful suit, to remove your mask, please. That'd be great.
Oh, this is my COVID mask, sir.
You know what? I'll grant
have
that. Nope.
Yes, I have a...
You don't need to justify
I have
it.
immunity issues, kind sir.
It's okay. Alright. I'm just curious on where we're at with security. Still locked. These are the stressful ones. Let's talk about tactics for a second. So, obviously, like, I'm not going to iterate this to police because I don't need them knowing how tactically sound my mind is. But we have a personal vehicle here, and we also have a personal vehicle here. Okay? Now, this is a bad placement for my personal vehicle. It should have been over here, but that's where it is. Alright? So, biggest threat point is here. I'm going to move it through the front, and I'm going to move it with everybody else, and I'm going to run left per the exit, and then we're going to come out through here, get to our vehicle, or come out through the front, get to our vehicle, and bug out. I will be taking exit point Alpha, which is what I'm going to refer to, which is the train tracks. If there is a problem at Alpha, we'll be taking exit point Bravo, which is another train tracks here. If there's a problem at Bravo, I will ramp over here, and I will go for exit point Charlie, which is, it's here. Exit point Charlie. Okay? So we got Bravo, we got Alpha, and we got Charlie. Okay, does everyone understand the plan? Then the idea is we come out through under the sewer, and we go up through the mountains to where we can lose any tails because we're using a Sanchez. I don't have a parachute. I would love to have a parachute to do a Chiliad strat, but the idea is you get to Sandy as soon as possible, and you bug out there, and you just lay low. I think the Zancudo wetlands is a pretty good spot to hang out for safety reasons, or on top of the nudist camp would also be amazing. So these are the considerations we are making. I will also take a point to say that this is also a good bug out location. However, if there is someone here, or sorry, if there's someone who follows you there, it is pretty bad. There we go. Alright, you can bring him up. No need for all that posturing. You can bring him up.
Bring him up?
Yep.
Alright, bring him up.
Hold on.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience.
You're welcome.
Alright, sir, if you can find your seat to my left, your left.
Oh, my fans. Down with the system. Down with the system.
That's my line.
You can find your seat, please.
Sir, take a seat.
I'm trying to take a seat.
Are they telling him to steal the seats? Is that what they're telling him to do?
Thank you very much. Alright, so before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, I have a few requests to the gallery. First, if you could stop clapping, that'd be great.
My fans, thank you.
So I don't want any outbursts. There isn't going to be a result to this case. So regardless of what's said here today, this isn't going to be a guilty, not guilty, or whatever. That's not going to be happening today. It's going to happen on another date. It's going to happen before the 8th because I would like some time to deliberate on the case. I will note that heavy charges and fines will be given out to anybody who makes outbursts during the case. You have one warning only. This warning affects all of you. So if the person on the far right makes a comment and then someone on the far left makes a comment, I'm gonna be handing out a contempt on the left on the second person, and then anybody thereafter is going to be getting a contempt of court charge. These do go up to felony, so do be cautious with that. All right, Mr. Nyman, are you ready?
Your Honor,
Yes, Your
I'd
Honor.
like to be out of handcuffs.
Negative.
I'd like to be treated like a human being, please.
Negative. You're staying in handcuffs.
That's very disrespectful.
Well, some of the things you said today were why you're in handcuffs today, sir. Mr. Nyman, please step forward. What are we here for today?
In the map E-061211, San Andreas versus Randall. We're here for the prosecution of Mike Randall for the following charges. 5 times 3-501, murder in the first degree. It's a class 1 felony with a $65,000 fine. Possible punishments include the death penalty. Charges of 3-602, aggravated assault 4 times. Class 3 felony against emergency services, $6,500 fine, 30 months imprisonment per charge. 3-1602, act of terrorism. It's a class 1 felony, $250,000 fine. Possible punishments including the death penalty or life imprisonment. And 3-1603, planning an act of terrorism. Class 1 felony, $100,000 fine. Possible sentences including the death penalty or life imprisonment. In this case, the District Attorney's Office is seeking the following: a $750,000 fine, with $450,000 being reamed to the state, $250,000 to the city for repairs of City Hall and distribution to victims, and $50,000 personally to the victim, Jeffrey Harris. As for month sentencing, we are seeking the death penalty or permanent life imprisonment for Mr.
You
Rand.
lying piece of shit. You said no death.
Sir, please refrain from making comments. Thank you.
I would like to just advise the District Attorney's Office did initially seek life imprisonment during the initial arraignment, but given the ramifications of more evidence that has been presented and has been added to discovery and circumstances, we have increased our requested sentence to the death penalty.
Affirm. You can go back to your desk. Mr. Randall, I was told that per your discovery motion that you would like to say something. What is that? Would you like to step forward?
Your Honor, I got no idea what you're talking about.
Do you have anything to state in front of this courtroom for your defense?
Other than I'm not guilty, no.
Okay. Mr. Nyman, please proceed. Please proceed.
Of course. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, today we face a grave and horrifying case that has shaken our city to the core. The defendant, Mike Randall, stands accused of taking the mayor of Los Santos hostage, orchestrating a massacre at City Hall, and attempting to kill 4 San Andreas peace officers and carrying out politically motivated bombings and attacks across San Andreas. Through this trial, you'll be absolutely certain that Mike Randall is guilty of 5 counts of first-degree murder, 4 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of terrorism, and 1 count of planning an act of terrorism. The terror and devastation caused by Randall's actions are beyond comprehension. Lives were lost, families shattered, and the community left in a state of shock. We will present compelling evidence, including eyewitness accounts from lead investigator Lucille McDougan, fellow investigator James May, forensic analysis, and footage, as well as physical evidence that leaves no doubt as to the defendant's guilt. This trial is not just about seeking justice for the victims.
Buckle up.
It's about defending the very essence of our society, that we must stand united against those who would wish violence to further their own twisted agendas. Our determination is to bring the full weight of the law down on this individual, and it is a testament to our city and to our commitment to restore peace, to ensure safety in somewhere we want to live. Together, we'll prevail over the darkness that has been cast upon us. Let's proceed with unwavering resolve and work towards just and righteous outcome. Mike Randall is a danger to our city and our society.
Speculation, Your Honor.
That's his opening statement. Please remain silent.
Mike Randall cannot be left to menace us any longer. He requires the death penalty or permanent life imprisonment at Bolingbroke Penitentiary. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Nyman, since I believe that the defendant said that he did not have any statements.
Your Honor, I do have an opening statement.
Oh, you do now? Okay, please
Yes,
step
Your
forward.
Honor. My fellow Americans,
Jesus fuck.
Today I'm going to show you that this is all just a bunch of speculation created by the district attorney's office. None of this evidence is concrete, and those people next to me are liars. I created a club to change the political outcome in this state, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Mr. Randall. All right, would you like to start with exhibits or witnesses, Nyman?
I'll begin with one of my witnesses. I'd like to call Dimitri Jones to the stand.
Dimitri Jones, please step forward and raise your right hand.
Objection, Your Honor. That's my damn lawyer. How is he going to talk against me?
Your Honor, Mr. Jones here has, under attorney-client privilege, proceeded to waive the privilege as he's been made aware of several information that threaten other individuals' lives. As a result, privilege was fully waived and
Your Honor,
is
he
no
cannot
longer
waive
entitled.
that right.
Sit in the chair. Sit in the chair, please, Dimitri.
Objection.
On what grounds?
That is my goddamn lawyer. I have a right to privacy between my lawyer and myself.
When you commit act of terror, that kind of goes out the window.
So you're saying I lose my right?
When you commit acts of terrorism, it is my duty to make that known to law enforcement, both as a citizen of the city and as a lawyer working for the Department of Justice. I work for the state.
You work for me, goddammit.
Please
I'm
raise
not
your right
private.
hand.
I work for.
Please raise your right hand. Verdin,
Objection.
if you could swear him in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Almost chasing towers. All right, thank you very much. What were you objecting on again, Mr. Randall?
Attorney-client privilege. You said he had the right to tell law enforcement, but this is outside that capacity.
I disagree.
So you're saying that lawyers can rat on their clients?
Mr. Randall, as soon as it is waived to the point
Your
where he can
Honor,
speak to law enforcement, it includes speaking to the courts.
Who has that right to waive that?
Your lawyer does.
So
when you put the lives of people in the city in jeopardy, you have to remember I am a public defender. I work for the state, meaning I work for the government. It is my duty to put them first.
Are you objecting to anything else, Mr. Randall?
I object. He can do this in any situation then. How are you supposed to trust your attorney if they're just going to turn your back on you? This is the BS my organization's trying to fight for.
Under the Patriot Act, special privileges are granted in instances of domestic terrorism. In this case, waiving of privilege qualifies.
I object to that statement.
It's going to be overruled, unfortunately.
I won't be the first, and I definitely down with the system. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, we can move forward. Questions, Mr. Nyman?
Of course. Mr. Jones, what is your current occupation? Oh,
Public.
sorry. Actually, I believe you still need to be sworn in.
No, he was sworn in.
Okay. What is your current occupation, Mr. Jones?
Public defender for this.
Not a good one.
Mr. Randall, please rephrase from making comments. We want to have a fair court trial here, and you're really muddling the waters here. Thank you. Continue.
Could you describe your relationship with the defendant?
We were close. I knew a bit
Actually,
more
sorry,
about
could we
what
get him
he-
a megaphone?
Does any officers in the courtroom have a megaphone? Yeah, come up. Well, we'll just leave it at the witness stand. Sorry, that's an oversight.
How do I use?
You'll know when you get it. You just hold a nice one. Oh God.
Did you get that?
Yeah. Mr. Neiman, my occupation is public defender in the state of San Andreas, and to answer your other question, my relationship with Mr. Randall was close. I mean, we were close. I'd say we were friends. I knew a bit more about what he was into than I would have ever cared to know. I believe that's why I'm here today, because I did not feel comfortable knowing the lives of other individuals in our great city were in jeopardy.
And why don't you elaborate on that? What has brought you to waive your attorney-client privilege today? That's a pretty big thing.
It was brought to my attention. He was involved with shootings going on outside the courthouse during a trial that I was representing, as well as some other information.
Do you mind elaborating on that further? More in detail, please.
You actually have to push the button that uses the microphone when you speak. They can't hear you back.
Mr. Jones?
Stand by. He's having problems.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to.
Yeah, you
figure
gotta
out
get it to stand up.
Figure out everything else I do, because I have the text messages and stuff, but I have to pull them up to kind of refresh my memory, if that makes.
You should just be speaking from memory, not pulling stuff up. FYI. Ask the question again, Mr. Nyman.
I believe.
Stand by. Ask the question again.
Sorry.
So, why don't you elaborate on that a bit further about what actually happened on the shooting at the courthouse?
I believe, if I remember correctly, he called me asking for legal advice as to what he should do if he had just...
Objection, Your Honor.
On what grounds?
Hearsay.
Your Honor, this is clear first-hand testimony. Mr. Jones witnessed and heard the conversation himself. This is not hearsay in any shape or form.
How can he confirm that conversation?
Jones, you're not actually using
It's a first-hand account, Your Honor.
Overruled. Please continue.
He called me asking for legal advice as to what he should do if he had just fired a weapon outside the courthouse, to which I advised him to cease what he's doing and either turn himself in, or knowing the type of person he is and the things he's into, I knew that was not likely to happen, so I advised him to get out of the area and stop what he was doing completely. And leave the area, leave him alone. It's not worth getting into. It's going to get you in more trouble than you need.
So, but
Like,
that sounds like it's just standard, an attorney advising a client. What brought you to break the privilege?
I believe it was brought to my attention. So I believe it was brought to my attention he was involved in other situations before that,
Could you be a
such
bit more
as
specific?
the mayor being kidnapped and tortured. It was brought to my attention that he may have been involved in that. And I had
I'm sorry, I'm
some
actually gonna have to
text
motion to strike that.
messages.
That is hearsay.
Granted.
Do you mind being more specific? What actually brought you specifically to break this here, aside from the hearsay?
I believe it was when he asked about bombing the courthouse while I was in here, while we were holding a trial for another individual. He asked something about bombing the courthouse, and I believe that was when I knew he was much bigger of a threat than something I could ever morally represent in the courtroom. And that is when, under the Patriot Act, I set attorney-client privilege aside and turned over my phone, including text messages on my phone that I believe McDougan saw as well, to the police.
Did you think he would actually follow through?
It didn't matter to me whether I thought he would actually follow through. A threat's a threat. I have to treat every single one as if it's credible. Because if I don't think it's credible and it turns out to be credible, then I have to live with that for the rest of my life. He doesn't.
To your knowledge, did he follow through?
What's speculation?
On bombing the courthouse.
On bombing the courthouse. To your knowledge, did he follow through?
No, he did not.
Any of these other threats, did he follow through on?
The others weren't threats. It was him calling me after he had done something, asking for legal advice.
And why don't you elaborate? What were these things he did?
I'm sorry, my memory's a little fuzzy.
That's
Then
fine.
prep your
Did you
witness.
ever feel in danger while with Mr. Randall?
For my personal life, I was the one willing to represent him, and this isn't meant to be degrading or as an insult, but he would have been dumb to do anything.
When you were with Mr. Randall, did you ever feel anyone else could be in danger?
While I was in his presence, no, because he knew. I make it publicly known to every single one of my clients. I don't want to see you commit any illegal acts.
Sorry.
Unless I know the better.
There
I
wasn't
need
a
to know
question
the
for
better.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna strike that. Please
Going-
only answer when you're being asked a question.
Going back to that shooting you described earlier, do you mind telling us what happened?
I was in here representing a client. I believe you were here as well. There's some shooting going on outside. The police ran outside, and something else happened. I ended up being injured. That's when our very generous judge here approved certain actions by both me and you while we're in the courthouse representing individuals.
Sorry, do you mind being a bit more specific by certain actions?
He allowed us to.
Sorry, you cut off there.
He permitted us to carry
Objection.
On what grounds?
What is the relevance? I'm not being charged with any shooting at the courthouse.
Your Honor, we're establishing a pattern of behavior of terroristic actions.
It will not be proven.
Can you prove that he
We
was
have a-
involved? in
We
the
have
shooting?
a witness here to prove that, and another witness that can also back up his statements.
The statements, or that I actually shot?
McDougan.
Stand by one, please. I'm gonna sustain that objection.
Okay. No further questions at this time.
That was hot. Well,
What?
You okay, sir?
I wasn't paying attention.
Could you please sit him up and someone give him some food?
Alright, let me just
Mr. Randall, do you have any questions for your attorney or your ex-attorney?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, please stand up to the gate.
Oh, I don't have a med kit.
I have one. I'm surprised you're so
Okay.
unprepared.
Where do you get med kits from?
Oh my god.
You can't buy them.
You get it from the hospital if you go behind the desk.
Use
I
the
don't know
item,
about
drop it in the
new one.
ground, third eye it. No, 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 no. No, there's more. There's no more to this process.
Rookie mistakes, am I right?
No. Jardine, listen.
Ah,
Use
this
the
is
item.
justice system we love.
Yeah, I'd probably go.
Use the item. Like, drag it to your use.
Yeah.
And
Need a
then you
defib?
press E.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your
can you
Honor, the
please
defendant's
pick up?
making
I got you.
death threats at this time about the witness.
Objection, speculation. Speculation, Your Honor.
Mr. Randall, you are on very, very thin ice. Please.
Your Honor, I'm trying to get the show on the road. What is my witness doing?
He's too hungry, and unfortunately, the sergeant doesn't understand how med kits work. I don't know how this happened, but it did. Just give me a second. But please refrain from saying anything out of turn, as it will hinder your case moving forward, and it already has.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Now,
Welcome back.
Could you grab some food? It's in a bag out in the front thing. He's just gonna grab some food from whoever had it. Did you get it? Are you good? Dimitri, hello. Are you good? It's out in the gallery. Do you see it out in the gallery behind him? Jesus fuck. Yeah, I guess this is your reminder to make sure you're not starving to death. Thank you.
Where'd you say I can buy those from?
You don't buy them, you pick them up at the pillbox, you go third eye it.
I'll look for that later. Thank you.
Alright, I apologize, Mr. Randall. Please ask your questions.
Is he ready, or does he need to...
He's ready.
All right. So you described our relationship as a friendship. What makes you think we were friends?
Objection relevancy.
Well, you asked about us being friends, and I just wanna.
You did ask about the
I
relationship.
asked about the relationship, which.
All right, I'll ask it a different way.
Go ahead.
If our relationship was friends, what actions did I do to make you think that?
It's actually less relevant, but fuck it.
So, the way you treated me, how open you were to me as your attorney, even after I admit I had said.
So what you're saying is
the
you were my
less I
attorney.
know, the better.
So what you're saying is you were my attorney.
Sir, if you let me.
I'm asking you a different question.
Please let him answer the question that you just asked him.
The way how open you were to me, even after I told you the less I know, the better. Shown to me you have a certain level of confidence and trust in me as you would a friend. So that showed me one of two things. Either you had a certain level of confidence and trust in me as you would a friend, or you're just a socio-psycho.
I had trust in you because you were my attorney. We are not friends.
Damn, he fucking.
Sorry, Your Honor, I'm gonna have to motion to strike the last.
Yeah,
part of Mr.
stop
Jones'
making
comment.
statements, Mr. Randall.
I had a question mark at the end of that statement.
No, sorry, my motion to strike was towards Mr. Jones, to the point of it was argumentative. That last portion.
You're saying the answer was argumentative?
The last part comparing him to a sociopath.
me
As far as I'm
calling
aware,
him,
Mr. Jones is not a licensed.
Yeah, are you a medical professional, Mr. Jones? What's your role? That was a question.
I believe that was answered earlier. I am a public attorney.
All right. And you said, so what made you feel like you shouldn't report the actions of myself or alleged actions up until this moment? Why did you keep that from law enforcement?
Oh, I didn't keep it from him. The moment you sent a picture of Chief Adkins' car to me outside the courthouse during a trial, that is when I thought to myself, hey, this is more than petty crime. This is acts of terrorism. And under the Patriot Act, our attorney-client privilege was set to the side. And I showed the text messages to McDougan, as well as informed her of our conversations. And I informed Chief Adkins as well and showed him the text messages as well, along with the pictures of his car and a text saying, should I
You cut out, should you what?
a text message saying, and I quote, should I do it?
Damn.
Should you do what?
I believe he was quoting you there, Mr. Randall.
So you continue. So you continued to let me think you were my lawyer the entire time.
No, I believe at
Objection,
that time,
Foundation. That's
cut...
never been stated.
Sustained. Please keep it relevant to the questions that Mr. Nyman asked. You could recall
Alright.
the witness if you have specific questions.
Hey, all right, sounds good. No more questions, Your Honor.
Would you like to redirect Mr. Nyman?
No, Your Honor. I'll move to my next witness.
Alright, you can return to your seat, Mr. Randall. Thank you. And you can also return to the witness stand. And if you could leave the speaker. Thank you.
I'd like to call Lucille McDougan to the stand.
Ms. Lucille, step forward, please. Grab the microphone and raise your right hand.
Gordon McDougan, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead and take your seat if you want. Proceed.
Miss McDougan, could you tell us about your involvement with the Mike Randall case we have before us?
Yes, I was the lead and handling detective for the entire case.
And what did that entail?
That entailed putting together the report, investigating all the scenes involved, and adding any evidence into our investigatory format report.
And why don't you tell us about some of that evidence that you found while as the investigator?
There was a lot. We have multiple fingerprints from Mr. Randall at various scenes across the state. We have some DNA, I believe, some shell casings.
Sorry, could you just elaborate a bit more on those scenes?
There was one scene up in the mountains that involved the kidnapping and torture of Mayor Harris at the time he was a mayoral candidate. There was a scene at the courthouse. There was a shooting where he shot some workers in the lobby, or where some workers were shot in the lobby, I should say.
This is
and
great at
which we
roleplay,
found
by the
Mr.
way.
Randall's DNA on the scene. That is all that I can currently recall.
Were you ever physically present at any of these scenes?
Yes, I was.
And which one was that?
I believe I was present at all of them.
Why don't you start us off by talking about the kidnapping of mayoral candidate Jeffrey Harris and what you know about that?
Okay, so I can't remember the exact date. I believe it was in May. Myself and Detective May were asked to meet at MRPD to meet with Deputy Chief Seed. And upon meeting there, we were informed that mayoral candidate Harris had been kidnapped, along with possibly other important public figures. We were told something about a judge possibly being kidnapped and some lawyers being kidnapped. We immediately launched an investigation to try to track down and find the mayor. We checked multiple locations throughout the state.
Sorry, in this case, who is we?
It was myself, James May, I believe James Russell,
Objection,
and John
Your Honor.
Seaton.
Stop talking, please. Go ahead with your objection.
Speculations. I hear a lot of beliefs rather than certainty.
Do you have an argument against that, Nyman?
Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with that, Your Honor. Ms. McDougan, if you could rephrase your
Sustained.
answers to only what you know.
I know myself was there, James May was there, and John Seed was there.
Okay. And please continue. You mentioned you checked multiple locations during that investigation. What happened further from there?
So at that point, we noticed that there was a tweet put out by a Twitter account known as Big Wreck Army, who we confirmed to be Mike Randall later. It tweeted out the location that the mayor was being held at, and we immediately moved to that location to find the mayor, and we called for additional backing patrol units.
And at that location, what did you find?
We found Mayor Harris laying on the ground with extensive injuries. We found multiple bomb-making plans and bomb-making materials on the table, on a table inside of the location. There was a list of prominent political figures attached to the wall, and upon
That's what he
checking
gets
for
taxing me?
fingerprints on the scene, we found Mr. Randall's.
Okay. One moment.
I wish I wasn't so
Sorry,
tired.
I'm having a bit of trouble here.
Take a moment.
Sorry. What could you tell us about June the 12th?
Jesus, that's
June the 12th.
Sorry, Your Honor, is it okay if I provide a bit of backing information? The dates are a bit messy.
If you could specify what your question is instead of
Uh,
a vague date.
Could you tell us about the arrest of Mike Randall?
The arrest of Mike Randall. I'm gonna keep it to what I know. I know that we chased him all across the state before he We chased him all across the state with his wife Paula Randall, who was driving the vehicle. Mr. Randall was in the passenger seat. And eventually the chase ended at Pillbox in a shootout between Mr. Randall and Paula Randall and multiple officers.
Sorry, multiple officers. Was anyone injured during this?
Yes. It was myself, James May, and there was another 2 officers who I can't recall the names of.
And these injuries, were they? What was the severity of these injuries?
They were decently severe. We were struck by bullets fired by Mr. Randall and his wife.
And finally, what do you know about the City Hall massacre?
So I believe this was sorry, I don't believe. I know this was after the whole scene involving Mayor Harris. We went down to City Hall to speak to you. Actually, you weren't here, but upon arriving on scene, we saw multiple shell casings on the ground and multiple dead bodies from workers that handled things in the lobby. We saw
I saw remnants of
it was
that myself.
cigar butt on the ground inside as well as outside of the courthouse.
Jesus, this is long ago. Holy.
And when we swabbed the cigar butt for DNA, we found Mr. Randall's DNA on it.
No further questions this time, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you have any cross-examination questions?
I do, Your Honor.
Go ahead, step forward, please.
Hello, ma'am. Do you often leave out key information from your reports?
Objection, badgering.
Your Honor,
Sustained. You are badgering the witness. Please ask your questions.
Ma'am, who were the 4 officers that were injured at Pillbox?
As I stated previously, it was myself, James May, and there were 2 others I cannot recall the names of.
Why aren't you able to recall those names?
Because I was shot and sustained a small amount of memory loss.
So you're saying you received a memory loss, but you're testifying about this case?
I received a small amount of memory loss. The injuries weren't that major, but they did cause me to not recollect pieces from the scene, as common in cases of major trauma.
That's pretty good for Randall's case.
Do you know if any other officers documented the scene?
Objection.
Calls for speculation. Granted. Sustained.
No more questions, Your Honor.
All right, you can return to your seat. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Nyman, or do you want to?
Yeah, I just got one question.
I'm doing so
You
good.
did state you have memory loss, but is there any doubt that the person involved with the shooting at Pillbox Hospital was Mike Randall?
No, there was not a single other person in there, and we had locked the hospital down.
Good.
No further questions.
Redirect. Thank you. You can return to your seat, Miss McDougan. Next witness or exhibit?
Yes, Your Honor. I think I'll just rattle through these exhibits now.
Any firm. Go ahead.
All right. So I'd first like to present. Let's start with Exhibit 5A, lab report of shotgun shells.
Okay.
Sorry, as you can see in this exhibit, it is a lab report of shotgun shells returning to Mike Randall. Dictated the location was found at City Hall.
Yep, per the evidence ran, that is what's being seen. I am concerned that a status is listed as being analyzed. Has that been updated?
That simply refers to at the time of the report underway, it was still being analyzed. The case is not entirely closed until following. at this time, it's still available in their labs in case they need to continue analysis. Once this trial is concluded, it will be concluded because it is no longer open for analysis.
Okay.
The next I'd like to provide is Exhibit 5B, photographs of shotgun shells. As we can clearly see, these are shotgun shells and photographs taken at City Hall. You can see they are the same model, same make, same casings.
And how have we come to the conclusion of same model and same make based off the shotgun shells? Is it just because it's a shotgun?
Shotgun shells do have differences between their shapes, the coloration. These ones are the same shotgun shells as presented in the lab report.
Okay.
I'd now like to point to, Exhibit 4B and 4A. They're attached to each other. Another photograph at City Hall, cigarette butts on the ground next to those same shotgun shells, and attached to that, a lab report analyzing those cigarettes with DNA matching Mike Randall. As can be seen, I'd now like to move for Exhibits 2B and 2A, screenshots from the Big Rick Twitter account.
Your Honor, there's no way confirming that that's my Twitter account.
Stand by, let me look at it.
My name is Mike Randall. Why in the hell would I make a Twitter account called Big Rick?
Just stand by. Hold on.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead. How do you know it's him?
Exhibit 2B, those are screenshots from the Big Rick Twitter account of Mike Randall. As you can see, that it is the same individual. The third is a mugshot for reference. And you can see in the screenshots that
just give me
the
1
same
second
face.
to verify that. So 2B is saying, Jesus. Okay, so 2B, and the second picture, where did you pull that picture from?
So the first picture is from the Big Rec Twitter account. Second picture from the Big Rec Twitter account. Third picture is a CAD or MDT arrest mugshot of Mike Randall.
Okay, and are we leaving it the possibility that someone could have uploaded these pictures against his will, and it could have been someone else?
It is possible, but there's been no evidence to the contrary at this time, and we'll elaborate further on that.
Yeah, I would like that elaboration as burden of proof. Okay,
All right,
any other exhibits?
At this time, I'd like to call James May to the stand.
James May, please come and take the megaphone. Raise your right hand.
Lieutenant May, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Alright, you can find your seat or stand. It's up to you. Go ahead, Mr. Nauman.
Mr. May, do you mind telling us your name and your occupation?
My name is James May. I am a lieutenant and the head of the Criminal Investigations Division within the Los Santos Police Department.
Lieutenant, why don't you tell us what you're aware of regarding, or what you've experienced regarding this Mike Randall?
I mean, I can go through like the timeline of events to my best recollection. Or
sorry, I'd like to clarify, Your Honor. In this case, James May is an
expert witness. Is that the word you're looking
Yeah,
for?
sorry. I'm having a thing going on. Is an expert witness on regarding this information. He has been one of the lead detectives and oversee it all.
Yeah, I generally think that the majority of police officers, and when I say majority, I mean all of them are expert witnesses, but let's call him an expert, just for fun. Continue.
All right, Mr. May. or Lieutenant May, why don't you tell us what you know about from start to finish? Give us the timeline regarding this case.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm not great with dates, to be honest. So I'm just going to go with the events, not necessarily on the dates, as I'm not aware of the dates this time. My first recollection is myself and McDougan were in MRPD when we got a call from, at the time, Deputy Chief of Police John Seed, asking to meet us outside in the parking lot as there was a possible case that we had to deal with. At that time, we were met with Chief of Police Atkins, who had information and received calls about the kidnapping of the mayoral candidate at the time, Harris, and that we, being myself, McDougan, the Chief of Police Adkins, and Seed, need to go and try to find him. So we eventually we started off going up into the Grapeseed area looking based off of Twitter, tweets and information. The tweets were coming from the Big Rick Army Twitter account, the same one that you're talking about earlier. And also there were some phone calls and text messages that were sent to Chief of Police Atkins as well that we were using as our basis for the investigation. Eventually, there was a tweet put out from that Twitter account that kind of gave us enough information that there's the altruist camp. I can't remember exactly what to call it, up in the Paleto Sandy area. And we believe that was the location in which case Harris was being held, or at least where we were going to find him. At this point, the four of us that I previously stated, along with James Russell, he became involved at this point as well, met us up there, went to go scope out the camp and try to find him. We did see some vehicles, and it was definitely a bit chaotic,
so much
as every
Holy
single person in
shit.
the city had seen the tweet of him up in that area. And so while the entire time we were up there, there was, I'm going to make the assumption of around 10 civilians, if not more, that were involved also looking for Mayor Harris, or mayoral candidate Harris at the time. We did breach one of the buildings where we found mayoral candidate Harris lying next to a table in a pool of blood. I believe there was, not believe, no, I remember there were saw marks. And he was definitely injured pretty badly. And on the table next to him was a bomb making plan, plans to make explosives. And then but those bomb making plans, I believe they were ran. I'm realizing now I don't think they're in the report, so I will leave this out actually. There was also a list of potential, not potential, important political individuals that McDougan said earlier. That was on the location. We took the reports of all the civilians on the scene, let it up there. At this time, we had an idea that it was me, Mike Randall, considering the Big Rick Twitter account was heavily present, along with the information that was provided to us by Atkins about the individual he was speaking with. Shortly after this, we got calls of shotguns being fired at City Hall, or this building, in which case we left that scene and came down here where we found all the multiple individuals, locals that worked here, who had been shot with shotgun shells. We found fingerprint evidence on scene from the shotgun shells, as long as a cigar butt inside the courthouse, which all of the evidence and all the forensic details I did myself. Oh, there's something.
Verdin, can you let the people out, please? Some people want to leave.
Okay. Yeah, all good. So we collected all the evidence: shotgun shells, fingerprints, cigar butts here, and on the previous scene as well. That evidence did come back in the lab to Mike Randall, both fingerprints from the shotgun shells along with DNA that was found on cigar butts. There was another scene that I was not involved with, as I was not in the city at the time, where McDougan was the investigator on scene, where there was a bomb that went off inside of a Fleeca bank.
Objection, Your Honor.
On what grounds?
He was not there. How is he knowing? This is like hearsay or whatever the fuck you call it.
There's photographic evidence that was collected,
Your Honor,
and physical evidence as well that was provided.
Are you speaking to the photographic evidence, or are you speaking to what you actually witnessed?
I'm speaking to the photographic evidence and evidence that was on the scene that I analyzed in the lab.
We are going to strike that. Speak to what you specifically saw, not what evidence you're specifically referencing.
Let's direct back to the kidnapping of the City Hall incident. So, you said you found DNA of Mike Reynolds, is that correct?
Yes, there was DNA that was found on the cigar, but that was left inside of the town hall.
Did you find anything else there?
There was shotgun shells, fingerprints, and there was also, I am remembering now, we found a message that was left, I believe, on the outside of the. I can't remember the exact location where the town hall, but it was left in the town hall area. That's I think it related to the Big Rick Army account. I can't remember 100%, but I remembered it said that this place is going to be leveled soon, and very bad grammatical errors, spelling
Objection,
mistakes.
Speculation. He physically said he can't remember.
Your Honor, he's speaking merely to the exact wording. He
I
still
can't remember
remembers
the exact wording,
main.
but-
Which he said he can't
still
remember,
remembers
so
the
we should
main
not be
message of it.
assuming.
I mean, it should be in those reports, and
Mr.
you
May,
probably
please
have
just,
the pictures.
just.
Okay. This
hold on,
kind
hold
of.
on, I'm not done.
Oh.
I haven't sustained an objection. I'm thinking. So you're saying that he doesn't. He said he didn't remember what was specifically said, and then he's saying what was said. Correct?
No, he's saying he doesn't remember well enough to directly testify to the exact wording. He does
He's
remember
testifying
the
right now.
general message that was written.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Regarding that message, not regarding what was written, using the words, was the handwriting identifiable?
Negative. We did not try to identify the handwriting. We just tried to figure out what the message was meaning.
Why not?
Okay.
Is my mic
Should I continue?
lower, by the way? What the fuck is going on?
So,
I feel like I'm
at that scene,
quiet.
did you find any other messages that you might be able to recall?
No, and that was the only message that I can recall that we
Am I
found.
quiet?
But
I look quiet. I'm
as
gonna
I can
turn myself up a
recall,
bit.
it mentioned Big Rick
To
Army,
70.
in which case that was another connection we had to the Twitter account that we used in order to find Harris on the previous scene. Oh, not that.
Your Honor, I'd like to move to present. It's going to be Exhibit 6B to the witness.
Let me look at it first.
It's a specific one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Which one?
It's going to be one moment. Let me get that. 10 from the bottom. It's got blue writing and a text.
Is it ending in 224 or 219?
Yes, 224_1.
All right, if you could send this to the defendant, if not, I can.
I can see it, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any objections for the witness seeing this?
No, Your Honor.
All right, stand by. I just need to have a moment. What is your purpose of showing him this?
I want to verify if this is the same evidence that he has mentioned.
Affirm. Granted.
Okay, let me look real quick.
All right.
Oh yes, this is indeed the evidence that I was referring to earlier.
Terrorism.
There should be multiple of these.
Terrorism.
And
the building there.
Okay.
Adam,
So,
terrorism,
was any
murder.
other DNA found aside from
A lot.
Mr. Randall?
From that specific scene, not that I can recall. The from the specific courthouse scene here with the shotgun shells, that was the only evidence we found on this scene. However, we did find more DNA evidence on other
That
scenes.
was my only question.
Okay.
No further questions at this time.
Cross-examination. Mike Randall. Do you have any questions for him?
Yeah. Actually, no, I don't, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, there's no point to redirect then. Go ahead and take a seat. Take your seat, Simon.
Over there.
Yeah, back of the witness stand.
I leave the.
Yep. Please leave the megaphone. Thank you. All right. Anything else to present, District Attorney?
Yeah, I'd like to call Bobby Dean to the stand.
Bobby Dean, please step forward, grab the megaphone, and raise your right hand. Bailiff, please swear in the witness. Man, this is why I
Dean,
did
please raise
this.
your right hand.
It's so fun.
Do you swear
I
to tell the
know
whole
nothing
truth?
as well.
Sorry. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help
Yes,
me,
I do.
Garden Grove. Thank you very much. You can either be seated or you can stand. It's up to you. It's whatever makes your ears work better. Proceed.
Mr. Dean, why don't you tell us your moment with the arrest of Mike Randall?
It's so complicated.
Just
for
the
me to do
moment
this.
of the arrest, or leading up to the arrest, or the day
Just
of the arrest.
Overall, your involvement with the arrest.
So, I got a radio comm from 104 James May to he was requesting additionals to go to his area because he was notified Mike Randall was in the area and possibly up to a terroristic act. We actually caught him driving with his wife down the freeway, and that was when he took off. From there, we ended up losing him, and moments later, we saw him again, and we pursued him again, and somehow we ended up losing him again, and then later on, like 20 minutes later, we found him again.
I'm so tired.
And as we were trying to apprehend him, he led us to Pillbox, and that was where I got a call over radio because I was booking another suspect, just got finished. That James may call over radio that he needed backup at Pillbox. They had Randall in the back of the Pillbox, kind of barricaded himself in.
That sounded like a fun
When I
scene.
arrived, James May and Mick Dugan were shot down and injured in the back of Pillbox next to Randall and his wife Paula. When I arrived, Shovel was on the door, and I immediately approached the other door. 3 other officers came to assist. We immediately locked down Pillbox. From there, Randall kept spewing threats at us, saying he will injure more officers if we do not leave the scene, and also calling out threats about killing the newborns at the hospital and the Riley's children that were sick as well.
What the
So he was
fuck?
pretty much wanting to take down the whole hospital
Holy
for
shit.
his freedom and his free escape.
In your belief, did you think he would actually carry out these threats?
Had no reason to believe he wouldn't.
Without a doubt, 100%, considering everything that has led up to this arrest, from him making, like I said, terroristic threats. He's had that courtroom or the house scene. He's smashed in the chief's face a couple times.
Sorry, this is just regarding what,
Okay, I'm
at
sorry.
that instance, what you believed.
I'll strike that.
Yeah. He definitely had. As I arrived, 2 officers were already injured, kind of downed. 2 other officers, as I was there, I witnessed got downed as well. So at that point, they between the 2 of them, they had about 4 officers down. In which case they were gonna stay there all night and take the 4 or 5 of us that were left out until they were able to make their freedom.
And how was he apprehended?
So another command officer arrived on scene. We got a bunch more backup. I believe 2 other additionals arrived. So we had a total of, I believe, or possibly 6 to 7 additional officers besides me. So that was when we proceeded to breach
the suspects because they were kind of bleeding out. Some of them had took some shots from some of us officers. We were in a standout shootout situation. And
We're losing people.
we proceeded to breach, and they opened fire on several of us, but we have some pretty good aim on the force, so he was apprehended
I'm actually going to
after he
motion to
was
strike
shot
that.
down.
That is speculative regarding their good aim.
Granted, granted, granted.
Okay. No further questions at this time.
Any questions for cross-examination, Mr. Randall?
No questions, Your Honor.
You may return to your seat. Leave the megaphone. Please, thank you. Do you have any more witnesses to be called?
At this time, Your Honor, I'm just going to be motioning to enter my final exhibits. Exhibit 1A, Mike Randall's arrest warrant.
Okay.
And I'll just proceed with these. Police report 1296, Exhibit 6 and Exhibit 6A, the investigative report on Mike Randall, for review by the court.
All right, stand by. It was 1A and what?
1A, 3A, and 6A.
Dude, there's too many fucking channels in this Discord. Alright, I'm reviewing. Jesus H. Christ. Is there anything in this narrative that you would like to highlight specifically instead of me reading it verbatim and spending 6 minutes here? Referencing the 6A, I believe, the report.
For 6A, Your Honor, I would say at this time, I am personally, and we can see what the defendant prefers, okay with this being reviewed during deliberation, so that things are able to proceed in more speed faster, if the defendant is willing to agree to that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll review that in deliberation.
No further questions or witnesses at this time, Your Honor.
You rest?
Sorry, yes, I rest my case.
Would you like to recall any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please stand, and who are you recalling?
I'd like to call May, that May boy, up to that stand.
Mr. May, return to the stand,
I'm stuck.
please.
Alright.
Understand that you are still under oath.
Oh, don't get thirsty.
Don't forget the megaphone, sir.
I already have one.
Sonny, don't forget that megaphone.
Mr. May, don't forget the megaphone.
Yeah, Mr. May, don't forget the megaphone.
I got it.
Alright.
I got one of them at least.
Proceed.
Mr. May, did you process any evidence regarding to this case?
Yes, I was the officer in charge of doing most of the forensic work, like processing DNA, fingerprints, etc.
And what experience do you have processing evidence?
Oh.
I mean, it's
Good
part of the
question.
job. We have a great lab at MRPD, which obviously is closed right now. But you know, take it in there and just do some forensics work. It's kind of just what CID does, as we don't have a actual forensics division within the LSPD.
Mr. May, please answer the question. What experience do you have with the evidence?
In terms of experience, this is not my first time, but I'm still not the most experienced person doing forensic
He
work.
literally made the system. What do you mean?
So is it possible that you would make a mistake?
Of course, I would say that it's always possible to make a mistake when doing forensic work.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
All right, no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Hey, Firm, you can sit back to your chair. Do you have any cross-examination questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed. This is a full-fledged case. This is how it's supposed to go. Long
During
hours.
your examination of the evidence, sorry, let me strike that. I'll rephrase. Did you, when examining evidence, did you just start doing it, or was there some kind of training you had to do prior?
I'm kind of the person within the CID who's taken charge of forensic work. I was not trained by someone else.
But it's not. You are experienced with the equipment. Is that correct? You at least have some
Yes,
knowledge.
I have spent some time in the lab learning how everything works.
So, was this your first time handling evidence?
No, it was not.
And is it likely that
Is he perjuring himself?
evidence such as fingerprints can come back to a completely different person?
I mean, there's always a possibility of a mistake happening,
What?
but I would say
No,
that
there's
the
not.
likelihood of that happening is very low, and the fact that I would consider these probably be very accurate.
This is the expert witness.
No further questions.
Do you have a redirect, Mike Randall?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can return to your seat. Do you have any other witnesses you would like to recall? Mr. Randall, is there any other
I
witnesses?
would like to call the ma'am over there up.
The Seal
Ma'am.
McDougan?
Yes.
Step forward. Reminder, you are still under oath, and make sure you get the megaphone. Proceed.
How long have you been in law enforcement?
Oh, here we go.
About 4 years now.
Yeah, that's right.
And in that time, have you ever been forgetful?
You said forgetful?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. This is confuses the issues.
Your Honor, we're trying to determine whether or not this officer can be considered an expert witness.
Your Honor, we never claimed she was an expert witness. Also,
Your Honor, you
forgetfulness
claimed that
and
all law
experience.
enforcement was expert witnesses previously.
I did say that.
But her testimony was not presented as such as an expert witness.
This is awesome.
So, Your Honor, are all law enforcement expert witnesses, or are they not?
What he's specifically stating is that her testimony wasn't presented as an expert witness testimony. I'm just referring to officers of the law as expert witnesses. But what are you objecting on again? Sorry.
Your Honor, it's relevancy. Every person experiences forgetfulness at least once in their life. It's a very vague question that is relevant to the matter.
Can you rephrase the question? The question?
All right. How long did you say you were in law enforcement?
4 years.
4 years.
You had a
In that 4
5
years, did you ever leave out key information on a report?
I can't recall that. I have written hundreds, if not thousands, of reports over the years.
So is it a possibility that you could leave out key information?
Absolutely. It's always a possibility.
All right. Did you collect any evidence at the courthouse incident?
At the courthouse incident, yes. I was the one who collected and bagged all the evidence. May was the one who processed it.
Now, what evidence did you collect?
At the courthouse?
Yes.
It was a shotgun shell, cigar butt, and I believe I got blood samples from some of the victims that were shot.
You believe?
Did you check anywhere else in the courthouse to see if there was any other evidence?
Yeah, we sweeped the entire courthouse. We found lots of posters everywhere that said, "This place be leveled soon, Big Rick Army." But other than that, there was no casings or anything else like that in the building.
Is it possible that you missed evidence?
Objection leading, and speculation as well.
Sustained. Re-ask your question in a different manner or move on.
Did you process all the evidence that was on scene?
Objection asked and
Asked and
answered.
answered. Sustained.
Give me 1 second, Your Honor.
You're good. He's doing a very good job. I mean, his character's doing a
Why
very good
was
job.
the cigarette butt and the shotgun shell the only evidence that was cataloged and processed?
That's not a fair question.
Objection foundation.
We're trying to determine whether or not they skipped other evidence or logged other
But
evidence.
she answered that she collected more than what you just stated.
Then why was that the only two things in the report? If there were other items, why weren't they cataloged and issued during discovery?
Correct me if I'm wrong, District Attorney, but were they not in there? Did I miss that? Did the thing that Lucille McDougan just say, being the blood and the posters not cataloged into evidence?
The posters were included in that very large folder of images,
What about
as
the
well as
blood?
the blood. Photographs of the blood are in those photos.
Yeah, I see a photo of the... Well, this is already listed in the evidence, but the poster was already submitted in discovery and you had no objections. And I would imagine, and in fact I'm going to look through all these, and I would imagine that they're going to be there.
Alright, no more questions, Your Honor.
Alright, return to your seat. Stand by. Not you, Miss McDougan. You can sit back down. Give me a moment. I'm just going to look through these photos.
Your Honor, I'd just like to add, the DNA test results are not present in this report, but that is most likely due to their relevancy to the case. It's unlikely a victim's blood would have any relevancy to Mike Randall's case, especially a local victim.
Yes, and I can see many pictures that were entered into this mega document.
Your Honor,
So-
I believe that if there was blood on scene, it should have been tested. How do we know if that's human blood, pig's blood?
Speculation.
You
He's
have
just
no-
making a statement. He's not asking a question.
Yeah,
But-
you have no way of telling that's human blood.
But was it
The
tested?
human bodies next to it.
That is true that there was also human bodies right next to it, Miss or Mr.
I
Randall.
arrest my case, Your Honor.
Yes, okay. Do you have a cross, Miss McDougan?
None at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Miss McDougan, please return to your seat. Thank you. Leave the megaphone. All right. Do you officially rest, or do you want to recall any witnesses?
I have no more witnesses, Your Honor.
Hey, friend. Okay. I would imagine there's no closing arguments
Your
here.
Honor, I have a closing argument.
I also have
Oh.
closing arguments, Your Honor.
Color me surprised. Let's start
I
with
always
the
have them.
district attorney.
Hey, Sonny boy, put your hand down. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, and they thems too, I guess. As we come to the end of this trial, we must reflect on the gravity of the defendant's crimes. His actions, taking the mayor hostage, perpetrating a massacre at City Hall, committing a bombing at a bank. Mr. Jones, please stop pointing.
Yeah, put your hand down before
and
violence, Sonny boy.
committing a massacre of law enforcement at a hospital,
Poor man.
as well as threatening newborns to kill them. His actions have scarred our community and our trust in each other. The evidence presented has been damning. We've heard from witnesses who survived his reigns of terror, his attempts to escape,
lot of evidence.
massacres, his attacks, even his own lawyer testifying against him, and to his depravity. There is no doubt of his guilt. We have responsibility to ensure that justice is served. We must send a clear message that acts of violence and terror will not be tolerated in our city. The lives lost and families torn apart demand nothing less than accountability for the defendant's actions. Remember the pain and suffering inflicted upon our community. It's our duty to stand together, condemn these atrocities, and deliver a verdict that upholds our commitment to peace and safety. Mike Randall must not walk. Thank you.
Mike Randall, closing.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, all I've heard today is a lot of speculation within law enforcement, failure to remember key information such as injured officers. They can't be bothered to remember who got hurt. How can they be bothered to accurately really describe what occurred?
That's a good point.
My own lawyer is a rat, and he should be punished for it.
Jesus
We
Christ.
should not have government officials, people that work for the state, that turn on the people. This is why I should be found not guilty. If law enforcement did their job properly, they would have processed all the information and had accurate reports. If they are forgetful, then how can they be confident that I committed these crimes? And that is all.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be adjourned for today. The case will resume at another time. You'll be notified via the Discordia. If I can direct the officers to put Mike Randall back to Bolingbroke, please, in a very, very safe manner. And my deliberations will start, and I will let you know when I have decided.
Your Honor, can I speak to you for 2 seconds?
You can speak freely right now.
Your Honor, if you decide to put me to death, I request that it's made very publicly, possibly at Legion Square.
Absolutely not. It won't be Legion Square. If you want to have a gallery, if that comes to it, if you want to have a gallery, I'll allow it.
I appreciate it.
I would also, to speak on Mike Randall's part, I would also, if, as is his right to be witnessed in death by those he chooses, I would like to request that the execution is, if an execution is occurred, it is held in Bolingbroke or another state facility where it would be more appropriate to do such.
Yes.
Is it yours? No.
I also think we waited way too long to have this.
Well, you're the one who taught us all up at the start.
What do you mean?
It was so hard.
We were ready to go like last month.
Well, yeah, but I was on vacation.
All right, I would love to continue and party with y'all, but I gotta get back to Taco Juice.
Yeah.
All right.
If we can get him escorted, please. God, that was fun. God, it was so cool.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, Judge.
Yes,
Quick
walk and
question
talk.
for you.
Walk and talk. I got
Alrighty,
places to not be dying at.
Yeah, is there anything you want set in stone for the bailiff stuff? Because we're finalizing the
Ooh.
SOP. So anything you want included into the SOP, just email it to me and I will put it in.
Yeah, I'll have some time to email it, I think.
Okay, because we've got the basics done so far. Just
What
wanna
was
make sure
all
I
the
didn't-
shooting, by the way?
A random car.
Can we get him in the car? Like, he's making me nervous.
Yeah, we're working on it.
All right, sir. Black car.
And then whenever I get it finalized, I'm gonna send it to you to make sure that the judges approve of it.
Yes. Alright, there's no
Yeah,
bombs.
it's gonna cover basic, simple stuff, bailiff stuff, security, and protocols and whatnot.
Alright, well, you know, it is what it is. I'm sure whatever you guys agree on. Like, the only thing I would object on is anything that says, "So help you God." It should be by penalty of perjury or whatever, when it comes to the words, the verbiage.
Well, yeah, I think the way that they have worded now is under penalties of perjury, so help you God.
Yeah.
Because I know that's always been one thing that's been iffy when it comes to bailiff stuff. Yeah. Alrighty.
I'm gonna follow you guys. Beep beep. just gonna slip on. I'm just gonna slip in on here. I just want to see this out. Yeah, so that was awesome. Regardless of what the deliberation result is, that was awesome. I don't have any like predisposed ideals or anything. Honestly, I haven't even thought about like what is like if he's guilty, if he's not. Like, I kind of just want to look at it, like, generally.
Get out of the line. Pull over to the right.
Fuck. I just want to see if they get shot, because it's good footage. And they're flooring it. My car's so slow. Jesus fuck. Man, these cops are zoom. Alright. Alright, let's evac. Let's get to a safe location. I kind of wanted to attach myself to that so I can get a better escape. Because there was a lot of shots fired. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the end of today's stream. I appreciate everyone coming in here and watching. I understand for some of you that may have been boring, but for a lot of us who are into the law stuff, like, that was a lot of good roleplay, a lot of rich roleplay. Like, that was really fun. And I hope everyone enjoyed. So yeah, we're just going to go pick a little hiding spot. Ooh, under this bridge is pretty good. Ooh. Rough. Yeah, I know all the spots. And we're gonna wait until things cool over. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Until next time. Have a good one.